Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody, and welcome, live on this rainy Saturday morning. It is Saturday, August 17th, 2024. Oh, I need the megaphone. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, thank you. Fred is with us, of course. Let's get a little more light on there. Okay, and I'm Dave Lefkowitz, and you're watching the 956th episode of the Dave's Gone By, Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the stream. Oh, got his line on that. Hold on.
Neighbors with whom you can talk and play and ask for help if you need it. I hope so.
One more.
Doesn't it feel good when you're just about to do something that you know is wrong and you decide to do something else? Something that won't hurt you or anybody else? Doesn't that feel great?
There's that little moment when he says wrong, and like there's this loud voice. It's like scary Fred.
I think it's like when Elmo realizes there's like, remember Simone Biles? She wanted to take a picture, and she brought Elmo thought it was with her favorite person was Elmo, and she brought Rock. He's like, Rock.
Elmo does not like Rocco. I think first of all, Rocco probably has mafioso ties.
Oh, Rocco. My cousin was called Rocco. He was a prison guard. And he was a prison guard, I think, at Rikers, and there was like a jailbreak or something.
Yeah.
And I remember he had a middle rod, and it's like, so he lived down the street near my grandma, and I kept saying to him, why is he home during the day? Like, I always was curious, as he was young, really young.
Yeah.
And she said, watch him walk. And his whole leg, like, it was some kind of riot, prison riot. And he was like, but it wasn't his real name, but it was a family nickname, and I was like, wow.
So he put in his 20 years and was retired by 50?
He couldn't work anymore. He was, whatever happened, it was like a steel.
Wow.
It was bad.
Wow.
I mean, he was like probably 20 or 30, but he was limping. Like, I mean, it was like, it wasn't good. He looked like, it was bad.
He didn't have a leg to stand on.
He did, but it wasn't good.
And this was a cousin or just a neighbor?
Cousin. We have a lot of cousins, like the ones we met. But we're not close with them, but we have a lot of cousins.
Cool.
They have a lot of names like Rocco.
Do they really?
Yes, they do. I have a lot of Lewises, a lot of...
Well, Lewis, all right.
Lewis is like Raymond.
Right, all right, yeah.
Anymore, right?
Who else? Any Fanucci's? Any?
We have to do all the last names are Italian, but I can't say
No, can't do that.
They're all Italian.
But, anywho, not Italian here, pure Jewish. Dave Lefkowitz, doing this Dave's Gone By. It's, as I said, yeah.
Please try to keep it a little clean.
Well, okay, so how do I why don't you unpack this? I can't even begin to explain.
Show the clean words so they know it's clean.
Yeah, first of all, what we're talking about right now, we got this sign, going to be using this a lot over the next couple of weeks at least.
Instead of using like PG ratings, it's our version of ratings, right? Like.
So most of my program is actually quite clean, except in certain moments when the best moments.
You said even your Limerick is going to be clean, right?
Yeah, no, we have a Colorado Limerick of a dam later today, and it's surprisingly, sadly clean. It's not filthy, dirty, and awful like they usually are. So I don't know how most of the show's going to go. I'm hoping. But for now, clean, especially since we have little potato here, little papito in a tub.
Show him his loofah.
These are his washboard. Oh, no. All right, this is a problem now. Things are falling out.
His cleaning spoon. He's got something else in there, too.
He's got a cleaning spoon.
He drinks the bath water.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, Papito, whom we've had for many years.
Show him the loofah.
Yeah. So he's got...
Take it off and show it, too.
All right, yes. Hold on. Oh, dear. Oh, my arm. Okay. So... my wife has gotten into these miniature, cute, like dollhouse-like objects. Even though she's not into dollhouse, she wasn't when she was a kid. But she's not a dollhouse person. But she's gotten into like these tiny miniature things of branded items. And you don't know what you're getting. It's kind of like the whole thing is you open up this egg, and it's a surprise of what's in it. You get to open these little surprises. So mistakenly, I grabbed one for like a bath and shower, and it came with like a loofah sponge, which is very cute,
I think it's adorable.
a spoon, which is really a Coke spoon, but we'll say who uses a spoon in showering?
No, it was to make the shower balls, which we made because you know they were smelly and you don't like smelly.
And then this is sort of the thing that holds the tub down or something.
Yeah.
This is so when you're relaxing in the bath,
Yes.
you can kind of relax in the bath and have your radio.
I think there was something else on the shelf. Let me see.
What? Oh, a spatula.
Oh yeah, okay, that's to scratch
Oh,
the
that's
back.
this is like
Yes.
a loofah, I guess.
That's to peel and help him peel himself, exfoliate.
Oh God, yeah. Oh, lower,
Fix it,
lower.
fix it.
Oh, hold on. We're about to get.
David, that wasn't even 2 seconds.
Oh, put it in my ass. All right. There we go. Oh God! Wait, wrong end. Wrong end. Sorry, wrong end. All right.
Fix it up nice.
And what the hell is it? Oh, this must be all the. Oh,
that's what holds him up. That's what he sits on.
it's an whatever mask.
And there's a bowl in there.
I'm just gonna leave this here, but he's enjoying. He's been in the tub. It's amazing his peel hasn't wrinkled.
Great.
Yeah. So we got these little things here. Then that Potato isn't. Oh, for goodness sakes, is enjoying. You can put this back on his arm so he doesn't lose the loofah.
Okay.
Or maybe you can do it because I don't have the dexterity.
For sure.
And
it's really a well-made loofah.
Oh, and look at the tub. You actually affix these things. All of these kinds of items come in these tub things, but they give you little like penis legs. Hold on.
Here.
They give you these little legs that you put on the bottom of the tub. I swear to God, they look like baby dicks.
They want to go in. They want to go in the tub.
Oh, chicken. Oh no, I lost him. Oh, whoa! My game is she's throwing chickens at me just in case you weren't clear. Chickens do want to go in the tub. Although if it gets too hot, they do make chicken soup. Oh, look how
they
cute.
look cute. Oh, the other ones are jealous now. They're on the floor.
Yeah. All right. We'll get them later. But here we go.
What did you do with the things I gave you to throw on the wall?
Oh, the sloths. I think they're I think there's one in my office, my room, but there's a couple here. So, but those are brand new. We're going to open them up. I accidentally closed this.
Okay. Oh, you wanna?
Well, what happens is you open. They don't last very long. You know, you throw them. They're how do I explain this? They're sloths, toys, not real sloths, toys that you can take and you throw them up against the wall. And because they've got that sticky, gooey cum inside them.
Can I have your phone?
My phone is here.
I wanna go on Facebook.
They'll stick to the wall for a moment and then start flipping, sliding down the wall. It's kind of an active toy. It's kind of cool because it takes about 5 minutes for a sloth to come from the top of the wall, boom, 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 flipping all the way down. Problem is, you do that a couple of times, this gets schmutzy, and it starts to lose its elasticity, or it comes out, or the arm of the sloth comes out, and then you see the arm hanging down, and it's just the goo. So I'm going to keep these rather pristine rather than open them up again, because we have like a couple floating around. But those are the sloths, ladies and gentlemen. We also have the cheese people. This is an exciting thing. I
forgot about that.
Yeah, I buy a cheap knockoff cheese, and when I do this, in order, I guess, to drive sales, they make cute characters. Let me get my glasses on for this. The cheese brand that I buy, which is called Frigo Cheeseheads. So you know I'm buying high quality, Switzerland and Swiss cheese here. But it's Leah Light, so they're which, I don't know, not smiling, not happy, not a happy cheese. These guys are pretty happy. They're hanging out. They're the besties. And these are string cheeses, so they're shaped like that. And I think we might have shared last week Twirly Thelma.
Yes.
Who is the most popular girl on her block, and I think we know why. Twirly Thelma there.
Someone named Brandon sent you Fiddle on the Roof from Hollywood.
Thank you, Brandon.
West Hollywood, and David Tammy.
Oh, yeah, Dave.
Sent you an email.
Oh, good. So yeah, where was I? Oh, okay. So how do I even begin? We were talking about these miniature items. So actually, we'll talk about the cheese because this was part and parcel of what happened to us last week. If you were watching the show last Saturday, we weren't in our. Wow, we've turned all blue here.
Yeah, the light does do that. It makes it orange. One time I was talking to somebody and I turned like the color of a carrot. I was like, why my carrot?
Yeah, it's light. You know, work like the light, please.
You gotta
There.
change this one. Don't make it warm. Make it cool.
Yeah, maybe this will work. There we go. Ooh, this is like very sort of scary,
do look great,
industrial. So we were at our friend's house last Saturday in a rather impromptu way because on Friday, as I told you Friday a week ago, it was about 9:05, 9:10 in the morning. I was settling down to do some work, and then pow! I hear like this not huge blast, but I hear a boom. And within a half a second, all the lights went out, all the machinery went off, everything was out, and hurrah, we had a blackout. And it was the amazing thing about this is it wasn't the whole block, wasn't the whole street, wasn't around the corner. It was probably like 5 houses on our side of the street together lost power. And so immediately I'm on the phone with BGE, Baltimore Gas and Electric, and trying to tell, hey, and to notify them, and said, would you like updates?
Oh, so you showed them this is the way you looked last week.
Oh, yeah, this is me from from when we were in our friend's house.
In Bethesda.
In Bethesda, Maryland, which is about an hour or so from here. But yeah, no, we ended up doing a great show last week, but it was very sort of not from our usual spot.
Impromptu.
Yeah, had to be, because
Did you have a guest you had to reschedule?
We had a pre-taped guest, which worked out fine. So we played the tape of Richard Barone, the musician. Wow, this is really like I need to get my old. That's better. So Friday morning already, I'm going, and I see across the street, like our neighbor has lights on. And I'm like, hell, do you realize what's going on? And I had to tell him because he didn't know that his tire was out. So his car had a flat in his driveway. And I wanted to tell him that and also ask him, hey, are you also dead to the world? And he said, no, we got lights. Meanwhile, somehow they had lights, no problem. Our lights were off for a day and a half. We were in blackout, which of course, I mean, once you go past the 4 or maybe the 6 hour mark, everything in your fridge is fucked, right? Because you can go a couple of hours, especially, I made sure not to open the fridge once, not even. I was like, well, I've got water, I got stuff. If I go out, I'll go out to eat. I won't worry about it, under the expectation that they usually fix these things in 6 to 8 hours is usually when, whether we were in Colorado or in Maryland, 90-something% of the time, they get on it, it takes a while, but after a few hours, boom, everything kicks back on and you're okay. But it wasn't happening this time. And I would go to BGE for updates. And first they would say, would you like us to send you updates by email? And I'm like, my computer doesn't work. And I don't, even if it did, well, I have a battery. Even if I worked on the battery, I don't have Wi-Fi. How am I supposed to get my email? You morons, I should have left my phone instead, but it's sort of like, no, I don't. Please just tell me what the hell's going on. And they, after about 2 or 3 hours, they have a thing on. And on the phone, if you went to this link that they gave you, it linked to a page that was not there. So they somehow found a page that wasn't operational to link people who are just desperate to find out what the fuck is going on in their neighborhood, in their home, right? So, I don't even want to speak to a person because I know there's no point. And I know I'm not the only one calling. And I know this was the tail end of Hurricane Debbie.
Where's the Mutter Museum? You just kind of saying somebody left the mutter.
I don't know.
Okay, sorry.
So all you want to hear is some like, hey, give us this, and then they finally come up with a status thing that says most of our customers will be fixed by 11 o'clock tonight. Not 11 o'clock in the morning, like 11 o'clock tonight. However, the rest of our customers, after the vast majority, will be a few stragglers. And the stragglers, it's not like, we'll fix them by 2 a.m. No. The stragglers will be fixed by 11 o'clock tomorrow night. So I'm like, Jesus Christ. Again, it already means that everything in the fridge, everything, not only just fridge now, because freezer will hold stuff for like 12 hours. So, you've got stuff frozen. It isn't going to thaw that quick. But 12, 18, 24 hours, yeah. And why I didn't ask a neighbor to just take some bags of our frozen food and keep them, they've got a vegan fridge. So I'm afraid that my meaty things and my doughy things will somehow commingle with their vegan, vegetarian things, and God will strike them dead for eating the wrong thing. So no. Keeping to myself. We'll just take the hit. We have our friends who are kind enough to take us to another part of Maryland. And, we're there, had a lovely time with our friends, had one of our friends, both of them are really, really good cooks. One of them could be a chef. The other, if she had a whole different life, she would be a fine, fine chef too. And I mean, this is a man who just kind of whips up. It wasn't baklava, but it was in the baklava family. He pre-made it himself, like this phyllo dough thing with butter and honey and pistachio nuts crumbled, and I mean, but he said, do you remember what it was called? Wakasha or something? Mushkabuka?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the food that our friend made, the dessert. That was like baklava, but wasn't.
Oh, I don't know. It was I can text them.
Or yeah, or look, it starts with an M.
Yeah.
Mukadukabuka.
Gotta find the.
But it was, if you've had baklava, and I'm not a baklava fan, it's kind of chewy. It's got that hard phyllo dough thing, and it's fine. I mean, it's good. It's a little sweet for my taste. This guy, if I tell you, but he's told me it's not baklava. It's something else because they make it. It's a different. It's not from Greece. It's a different thing. It's whatever it's called. So he made that. His wife made this delicious lamb dish, and because my wife is a vegetarian, they made her a mushroom. I mean, it's just lovely people. We had guests over, and we had some fun conversation with them. Just a nice way to spend a weekend. So and
Dessert has 2 D's, right?
What does?
2 S's dessert.
Yeah, 2 S's. So it's hard to complain. It's hard to bitch that, oh my God, first world problems, our power is out, we're going to lose our food.
No,
yeah.
It was so funny because we never were to Whole Foods, and we had a gift certificate from 1902. The first one was so ripped up they couldn't scan it.
Oh, yeah.
But the second one they were able to scan.
Yeah.
And we got Whole Foods, and I called my friend and I said, we're in the parking lot of Whole Foods. I'm eating old pizza and Whole Foods. Can you come get us?
No, well, we didn't. No, we
I
didn't.
say that.
That wasn't the way. Because they were supposed to come visit this
you're
weekend
right.
and say hi
you're
to
right,
us.
you're right.
It wasn't like we were begging them, can we stay with you? It's more than 74 degrees in the house. Because it was, and thank goodness it wasn't like a 90-degree heat wave like we had been in the month before. The temperatures had gone down to the 70s and 80s. But still, we were like, sorry guys, I know you're supposed to come over this weekend, have dinner with us and see us and say hi, but we've just lost we've just lost all our power, our Wi-Fi. We can't cook. We can't do anything. Sorry. And they're like, we'll come and get you. Because that's the kind of friends these people are. And they did, which was, literally 10 o'clock at night. They drove, took us to their home like an hour away.
And then
we crashed.
We became Olympian warriors.
And that's what we did most of it. We watched.
So I'm looking to see. Let's see.
So we watched the Olympics with them, which was fun. I didn't really want to, because
well, you and I aren't really like people who are aware of it.
Well, not only that, we've been concentrating so hard on getting things ready for, you should pardon the expression, school, and having to do our lesson plans and do the slides and do all that shit, that we didn't suddenly want to be like, I don't want to be traipsing around in warm, humid Maryland weather, 5 miles on a hike and doing this and that. So it was nice to just kind of crash, sit on a couch, and watch hour after hour of the Olympics, right? Which we don't have that on our cable system. They do. And so we're watching the coverage of it. And we did actually see some of the better breakdancers.
Oh, wait here. Let me give the music. Do it.
Well, I'll have Potato do it. Kangaroo. Spin on the arm.
Crawl on the floor.
Now front.
Crawl on the floor like you're looking for a raisin. Okay.
So we saw, from what we saw, the dancers we saw, breakdancing could be called a legitimate sport because it was really athletic, really acrobatic, very impressive. I mean, impressive in the way that it's funny. You see it on a big TV screen in the Olympics, folks doing it, and you realize how many times you've passed people who were just as good 40 years ago. I'd be trying to get downtown to go see a show on Bleecker Street or Christopher Street or I don't know where else, 8th Street in Lower Manhattan, and there's just be this crowd gathered of these guys on cardboard boxes spinning and jumping and leaping, and everybody's going, oh, and I'm like, okay, great, very talented, leave me alone, I got a place to go to. And now I'm looking at this on TV, and suddenly it's like, oh my, this is a skill. This is exciting. That was, I wish I could do that. Never in a million years, I couldn't do in a million years what ray gun does, right?
You could.
And ray gun sucks.
If I give you a bunch of caffeine, they're not
Oh, yeah. No, could not. So, much as we make fun of ray gun, you've heard about this woman, this Australian girl named Ray Gun. How many of you could even do, after 2 years of practice?
In your audience could.
No! Try. I've taken dance lessons. Trust me.
David, I think anybody. I think you could do it if you practiced enough. I mean, David, it's the Olympics.
All right. Yes, I could not do Olympic level, but I couldn't even do to her level if I were to study or practice. I would do.
Oh, David, I think you could exceed that. I think you would be better.
I appreciate that. I wish it would be okay. I mean, I would feel like I could actually dance a little.
I think you would be like you. Basically, you put on. She looked like she was wearing a garbage man's outfit.
Well, they all do.
In that green, and then she was like, I mean, it looks to me like when you're looking for a sock under the bed or something. It was like not a good.
Yeah, and the moves were a little whatever, and of course now there's all this controversy. It's like, was she doing it as a political protest of the way white culture co-opts black urban culture and tames it, or was it a different scandal that's coming out allegedly now, that she basically was the judge who said that she herself could go to the Olympics. That she was somehow on the committee that voted on who goes to the Olympics or not.
Husband, yeah.
I'm like, so all right, this explains a bit. Because she could not be the best breakdancer in Australia. Maybe back in 1983, when hip-hop culture was centered in New York, and maybe some in Los Angeles and Chicago and places. And then Australia heard about it, and they started seeing it a little bit on MTV, and we could try copying that. And then she would have been a superstar in Australia. But 50 years into rap and hip-hop culture, 45 years into breakdancing culture, right? If that's the best the Aussies have, it's kind of like, I'm sure there are Cuban, skiers, right? I'm sure there are skiers from Cuba or Ecuador who, when they first started learning to ski, however many years ago, just the fact that they could stay on their feet in snow was an extraordinary thing because there's no snow there. But now, you figure it out. Like curling, right? Who's going to be doing curling in Bermuda or Bahamas, right? But after the years pass, and you can build a rink anywhere, and then you can buy heavy winter clothing and equipment anywhere, at a certain point you kind of expect a level of, well, maybe maybe there won't be the best curling players in Ecuador, but they could compete on an international Olympic level. So that's why it was this weird thing of really in 2024, this is the best breakdancer that Australia can muster. Kind of, sort of made you wonder. But the other breakdancers were good, right? Were they better or worse than what you would see on a street corner in New York back in the day, in the good old bad old days of you know Dinkins and Giuliani, New York? I don't know. But we did see them, so we watched breakdancing over and over because they kept repeating on the NBC feed that they were showing. We also saw didn't see pommel horse. Sort of swimming.
Yeah. Oh, that we saw like the five one where they swim, they shoot, they. I remember the guy lost his visor. Did we ever figure out what happened?
Well, we did see some guy get knocked out. What
happened to the guy in the Olympics who fell in the bike race and his visor flew off? Dutch cyclist left the Tour de France. I don't think that was.
No, that wasn't the Tour de France. Yeah. Because sometimes you see people get knocked out and you think it's going to be this big news story.
Olympics bicycle racist.
You think it's going to be this big news story, and really, 5 minutes later in the locker room, they're up and about.
What was his name? Brown, you said.
Kwesi Brown.
Yeah, spell it for
wow.
me.
Kwese.
Kwese?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Kwesi Brown. He took a tumble, and I think he was carried off on a stretcher, but he was one of those stretcher people going, Is there anything about him?
I did injured. It says, was he former Ravens? He had shoulder surgery when he was a Raven, but that's what they're talking about.
Gosh. Maybe it might be a whole different Brown dude. Speaking of the Ravens, I forgot that we also watched the basketball game. I did want to talk about this. We watched the final between USA and France. And it was weird because as much as you want to root for USA, our close friend who took us in for the weekend, his wife's Turkish, he's French. So I also wanted to root for France. And it would be cool, again, for the French to beat the Americans in a game that was created by Lawrence Naismith and is considered an American-ish sport that went wider around the world. So we're watching it, and it wasn't really close. I wanted it to be a really great game since it was the finals of Olympic basketball. I wanted it to be really close, and I didn't really give a shit whether America or France won. It is 6-1, half a dozen to me. But then, I actively started rooting for France because Stephen Curry's such a dick. Did you see this? He had the hot hand. He was just sinking these
I didn't like
free
when
throws.
He did the sleep one. I felt that was the cheesy.
Yeah. So they're doing well, and they're controlling the game. It's at a certain point it was within 5 points, but
they weren't.
We were still.
Because G kept saying, they're going to be slaughter them. I said it'd be better. Like nobody wants to see a slaughter. They want to see a good competition.
Yeah, it was not a slaughter, but it was not that close.
Nihal sent a picture of it. It's called Philo Crinkle Dessert, and then she gave you here's the name.
Philo Crinkle Dessert?
I'm going to give you, but I can't.
I may stick with Philo Crinkle Dessert.
But be careful, I don't know if any phone numbers are there.
So well, I'll just read it out.
And then you can click on the picture.
Yeah, hold on, I just have to. Well, no,
I can't say the name.
Where is it? Well, Muakacha.
Okay.
That's how he pronounced it. Muakacha, which there's no phone number on here. It's just her first name though.
I'll give you this. I'm going to click on the name.
So we were talking about that dessert made from phyllo and honey and kind of like baklava, but it was called Muakacha, and it was Muakacha. And our friend made this from like friggin' scratch. This is it. It was
delicious.
Yeah. And as I said, I'm not a baklava person. Phyllo is not my go-to pastry in terms of what I like to eat in a brownie or a cake or in anything. But oh my God, if I tell you that was the most
I want to see prep time.
delicious
Mine says
thing.
27 years.
You started in 2014, and then somewhere around 2039, you turn it over.
Dough, buttermilk, sugar, water, lemon juice, vanilla, pistachios.
It was so good.
Oh my God, you have to work the dough.
Yeah.
This is a long. The crinkle. Look at this. You have to crinkle. You have to crinkle each individual piece of dough. Look, just show.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing that they will show on not
Martha
MasterChef,
Stewart,
yeah,
like,
or the Great British Baking Show.
Yeah.
Look at that. So he does it, and this is not the only thing he does all day. I mean, that's
He's
the
a
other thing.
scientist.
Both of them, right, are actual practicing lab science people, right? Doing all that, raising two. They're growing in college, but still raising two kids. They have a dog and a cat. They have a home to take care of, right? And they make the time to create wondrous things in the kitchen. Not only when we're there. I mean, they just do this as a matter of course. You know, with me, I get home from teaching 2 classes. I just reach into the freezer and grab like a fucking Stouffer banquet box. And I'm like, I don't want to. You mean I have to take a fork and poke a hole in it before I put it in the microwave?
Like 20 hours of crinkling dough.
Yeah. But even that, sometimes I'm too fucking lazy to use the air fryer. I'm too lazy to take a steak, put a couple of spices on it, and also I go. It's not that I'm too lazy to do the work, but then even the air fryer, you have to wait like 10, 15 minutes, or the
I don't mind cleaning.
And the crock pot. Crock pot is easy too. The crock pot, it takes 10 minutes to get something ready to put in it, but then you gotta wait 4 to 6 hours for it to be ready. I'm like, hell with it. Frozen dinner, here it is. Boom. Let's go out to eat. I'll grab a slice somewhere. I'll grab some nice dish somewhere, some calamari or whatever. So, but these guys, this is what our friends do. They're like, oh, yes, we'll make it. We have pieces of lamb. We'll do this and we'll do this and I'll fry. I'll saute this. There's nothing. To him, it's nothing. To him, and he just whips up. And she's, as I said, she also makes. At least her lamb dish was wonderful.
Yeah,
she was so worried. She was like, "Oh, the sauce is too garlicky. The chimichurri is too garlicky." I'm like, "It was fantastic. Shut up with the too garlicky. It's perfect."
For you loved it.
Yeah.
It was delicious, and we got the. Oh, you should have taken the balsamic vinegar. We got the one. Remember?
Yeah.
My friend, they were like, the wife was, I think, from Nordic country, but she worked in his lab, Nihal.
Yes.
And then he recommended that vinegar. It's delicious. Olive oil, vinegar, and some tomatoes. That was delicious. Remember, and we bought it.
They recommended this balsamic vinegar that they used.
Did I take a picture? I think you did.
Maybe. I forgot the name. But we ended up getting it on Amazon. We bought it so we could try it ourselves.
I took a picture of it, I think.
Yeah. Because my wife will use it on her salads. I'll use it in my douching.
No, you won't. Right here.
Oh, it's called something Italian. White balsamic vinegar.
It was delicious. It was so good.
Yeah. I mean, you're the salad person. To me, I'm happy with 7 C's Italian dressing. Because I'm too fucking lazy to make dressing. I'm like, you gotta mix this and mustard this and flaxseed this. No! Open a bottle of 7 C's, shake it up. Gotta get it really shaken because I don't want the oil shit on top. I want it all mixed together. And then it's like vinegary, spice laden, not spicy, savory, yummy on lettuce. It's the reason to eat lettuce because there's no other reason to eat lettuce except having salt. No, lettuce is non-nutritional.
Yes, it is. Tell them about Cava. We had a really good meal at Cava.
Yeah, we finally, after all these years, we've seen Cava in New York. We've seen Cava. I think they had one in Colorado, and we have a couple of Cava restaurants in town here, and we never wanted to try it because we always figured it'd be like, it's a chain. It's fast foody salad. It's gonna be really salty. It's gonna be this and that.
Sam, the guy from UNC, the radio guy, turned 30.
Oh, remind me of that because I'm gonna wish him a happy. But oh gosh, so Cava, we tried Cava, and it was good, man. Mine was surprisingly spicy. Schmuck me. I mean, let me have this wrap that they do. with this very spongy, nice bread.
You like the puffies then.
It was very good. But I said, what is that? It's like, yeah, smear some harissa on it. I was like, oh, harissa kind of makes things spicy and hard to eat, albeit delicious.
Yeah, you could get it as
Well,
get it as like on the side.
yeah, but it was really good. Yours was really good. The bread is yummy because it's not your typical pita. It's sort of a cross between a pita and more of like an Ethiopian kind of bread or
like
a lavash.
It was really, you liked it a lot.
So thumbs up for Cava. So we went there this week. We tried different things this week, which was really, really nice. It's our second to last, well, really her last week before plunging in completely to school. I've got another week of freedom, ish. And then, so it's like, why the fuck not? You know, we eat at the same places. Why not go at least once or twice to, hey, let's try this. And yeah, turn out pretty good. Doesn't mean we're going to go there every week or twice a week or anything like that. It means like, hey, this is another place we can go.
We sat there when the sun was setting. It was beautiful, right? We get to see the sunset.
We also went to a different, when we were in Canton, not Canton, Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
Which we've been to. I was actually at the Football Hall of Fame in Canton years ago. But Canton, Maryland, which is nice, which they're really yuppifying and gentrifying. And you can say how awful that is. But at the same time, if you yuppify and gentrify things, it becomes a place that people kind of want to go to shop and eat, which is exactly what we did. So we went to their version of, not
Iron Rooster.
Iron Rooster.
It was, so the thing was, we see it every weekend, but it's like massively packed. And then the joke was, when we shopped, tell them about the Uber driver. So the Uber driver told us in the Mini with a whole lot of stuff, but we had all that stuff in the Mini.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
But the Uber driver said he lives near here, and he said he prefers the one we went to
in Canton.
Yeah, as he said, it's much nicer. And whoever designed it, it's a new development. They have a playground, a tiny playground by the developer, and across from it is an ice cream place. Like, you don't think that someone consciously said, hey, like there's the ice and ice cream place, let's put, a playground in front. Like, I'm sure that was.
It's brilliant.
It was brilliant. That's a brilliant,
But it's also, they have your typical outdoor shopping center.
Deli,
supermarket that had the longest fucking lines I've ever seen in a supermarket.
Yeah.
There's like 2 lanes open and 20 people on a line.
We also went to Sprouts.
Oh yeah, Sprouts was there, and a couple places we didn't. They had Ulta there. I mean, they had their usual stuff there. But I gotta say, Canton, Maryland, really popping up, really developing, really doing something.
I wish that they would have kept the Ann Taylor loft, but it was now like a sports store. I guess not a lot of ladies were shopping there for it.
Yeah. As Bob Dylan sang one time, everything passes, everything changes. Do what you think you must do. So yeah, that's what we do, and things do pass, and things do change.
There's no sales tax this
weekend.
Oh,
you know what they are going to do? They are.
Let me see
yeah. Oh yeah, it's just tax-free weekend. Yeah.
When is the sales tax-free weekend in Maryland?
Did we miss it last week, or is it this week?
Tax-free week through Saturday, this August 17th.
That's today.
Is it today?
Yeah, so if you want to do some clothing shopping, we got to do it today.
I gotta read it. I don't know if that's last week or this week. Okay. Yeah, it says Maryland 7 days from the 11th to the 17th, so I'll go today. I'll get some clothes.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Let me make sure. Okay, I'm out of time. I'm off the schedule. Okay, I'm gonna go back to your Facebook.
Cool. But yeah, tax-free weekend, ladies and gentlemen. I think we'll just retire to Delaware at the time when we're ready.
Good to know.
Yeah, and we won't buy any furniture until we move to Delaware because everything's tax-free there. But no, what do I want to say about that? Oh, everybody's saying it's Simis.
Did you like your brisket?
What?
You had the brisket. You liked that. You had the brisket.
Yeah.
It had the. How did you feel about your foodies?
Oh, at Iron Rooster was very, very good. And they made a nice brisket hash. One comment to Iron Rooster though. One thing that we did get in Colorado at a local place we used to go to is they make a yummy breakfast hash with brisket and everything, but they put in little chunks of sweet potato. And that was that little something extra.
A little bit more than just the meat.
Yeah. So as good as the brisket was in Iron Rooster, I would say, hey, you might want to try a little bit of yam or sweet potato.
Or
I
like
put it over the
potato.
top.
They could have put breakfast potatoes under it too.
I didn't. Well, it had regular.
Oh, it did, yeah.
It did.
Oh,
It did.
oh,
It had those, but you don't get the sweetness. What? What?
I want to show you. We got
Yeah.
your new friends. We got the first new friend there, and then we got the second new friend later.
So
You can take
how
them
do
out of
I
their
even-
blankets. Yeah.
yeah.
Show them the new friend.
well,
He
let me
was-
let me even explain
you saw it. I
this.
thought it was a football when I saw it. You knew what it was. I thought it was a football.
So we're in Target, looking for a couple of things, including more of these little mini kinds of.
Yeah, all
Things,
this stuff.
yeah.
My obsession.
So we're in the children's sort of area, and we're looking around, and I'm like, that can't. Is that what I think it is?
Yeah.
And I was like, hon, take a look at this. And I just wanted a picture with it.
It was very, and you have one here. Okay, I'll show you the first picture.
Yeah.
what
This is
did it.
before, of course, we committed.
Well, because he's so darn photogenic. Oh, G said it's a Palestinian dessert. He's making fun.
Don't get me started.
I put yes. Okay, let me show you. Here's the picture. I thought she was a trap. I don't know.
He might be. He might. You could be on your phone.
And then you'll see the game. Okay, here.
Here we go.
But because he's so photogenic, I mean, look at him. That's a gorgeous shot of you and him.
So I saw this on the shelf. I was like, oh, get a picture. Get a picture.
Because let me show them the one you didn't buy. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So we go to Target a lot to feed my addiction of getting these little toys.
Mm-hmm.
And so here's Iron Rooster. So this is the one we did in Target, but you didn't seem to. There's two photos of you with these. You didn't want to buy these. These are like a hot potato game.
Well, these are also cute. We also have bought a hot potato game years ago. I'm surprised we didn't get these. But you fell madly in love.
I did. Well, I wouldn't
Yeah.
say madly in love, right?
Well,
let me show you. Hold on.
Yeah.
And you could show them the pictures of you, like this was with Neil and G. Here's the pictures of you drinking your prison soda.
Well, this is very. I like this picture of me as much as anything else. But
I love that.
we were at this is Iron Rooster, right?
Yeah, we were out on the deck. We were eating right across from the ice cream place, the playground, and.
But the interesting thing is why, everything now is we had that water. What was it called? The water.
Liquid Death.
Liquid Death, which is just water, and now they're serving like drinks with prison key beers
Well, you look great,
mugs.
and that's where we were.
Yeah.
If you keep going, you'll get the picture.
All right. Yeah.
of the
Let me
potato.
do the pictures here.
Yeah. But I wanted to show the other ones. We looked at them, but you didn't seem to want their photo.
Well, I wanted their photo. I just
But you
wasn't
didn't
going to
want
start
them,
buying.
yeah.
Yeah, because I buy.
But look how
Potato
good you
potatoes.
both look. You both look so handsome there.
Well, thank you.
That's.
So anyway, we bought one.
Sputteroo, right? Sputteroo. That's Sputteroo.
This is Sputter. Well, one of these is
Let me
Sputteroo.
see. Let me see. I'll
The
tell you.
one he's got the
me see.
the thing by the ice. This is the original. This is Sputteroo.
That's Sputteroo. Fix
Yeah.
his bandana, make him
Of
look
course,
pretty.
yes.
Okay. Look at his little cheeks. He's so cute.
He's adorable. He's
But
got
he was
little feet.
lonely. He was very lonely. You want to read his tag? What he has?
Could you? Yeah,
You
because
you need your glasses.
I mean, yeah.
I'll
All right.
read it because it's.
So we buy this at Target because he is very cute and he's a potato. Which, if you watch this show for
any sort of instance, you'll know.
introducing Tato Potato, that's his given name. We renamed him Sputteroo because, of course, of the outfit. I can't even open it. A spud with an adventurous heart, big
Aw.
dreams, and a passion for comfort.
Aw.
Is it passion? Oh no,
Yeah.
a penchant for comfort.
Oh, okay.
Despite his love for dreaming and grand adventures, Tato finds himself intimidated by the unknown and often overwhelmed. Why he would be wearing a sheriff's outfit, I don't know.
I don't know. He needs some therapy. Can we take him to therapy?
He is Smoko's go-to popcorn aficionado, TV show critic, and a couch connoisseur. Couch
Guess what he
potato.
gets? He buys the popcorn. He sits and watches TV.
Striking a delightful balance between his aspirations and remembering the simple joys of farm life. So I see him, I'm like, Hun, potato! My wife sees him and says, oh my God, he is so cute. We need him.
Well, he was the last
Which is
one.
shocking to me.
No, there were 3 in that one. In our Target, there was only one.
Yeah.
Oh, ours is a little chunkier. Look
Yeah.
at him.
Well, once we brought him home, my wife is like, oh, he's lonely. He needs a friend. So we're like, next time we're on another Target.
He's a little chunkier. I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah, he's got in there. and it is sort of a Brokeback Mountain situation. He didn't have an asshole this deep.
No, hey.
Hon.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. But here he is. Here's our second Smoko spot. And then we're like, okay, this is really cute. We have our pair. It's fine. We look on the interwebs, and this company called Smoko, of course, makes more of these potatoes in all different costumes. They have them like they're hidden inside a bear suit, inside a lion costume. There's one in a sailor outfit that's really, really cute.
How do you spell it?
S-M-O-K-O, Smoko, which is probably a Japanese name, nothing to do with. Although whoever thought of putting the potato in this was probably smoking something. Because this is, by the way, this is not like accessories that you put on. This is sewed on. They literally come like
when I
this.
type in Smoko, look at the little.
Oh, it's me. Oh, I mean,
Oh,
they don't have gifts of these things? But they're very soft. That's the other nice thing about them. So, yeah, we now own 2 of these. I think we're going to stop at 2, or because it's not like these things are like $1.50 or clearance. They're a little bit of money. These things worth every penny. But still. So
he does. He's very photogenic. Oh, David, they're so cute.
Aren't they? Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Do you want to show a couple, or no?
No, they're. When I look at I'm looking at you here. They're so
These
cute.
guys with me. I thought you were looking at some of the other costume things.
No, I was saying put them together like on each side of you. They photograph well, and the color combination is extraordinary.
Yeah.
Oh, they're adorable.
So it was a good week in a lot of ways, ladies and gentlemen. Despite losing a couple $100 worth of food owing to the blackout, and which of course is not covered by insurance. God forbid.
You have to pay $16 a month, and it will be.
Or a year. I think a year. Yeah. Which I mean, I guess, all right, okay. But how many things then do they nickel and dime? Well, if you have a frog dead in your gutter on your house, but it's not quite, and it causes a leak, that's not really covered because the frog is a what? Now, if you had $20 a year wildlife coverage, we could tack that on. So it does tick me off. I mean, we did not plan to have a blackout. We did not plan to have a Hurricane Debbie-related storm cause a tree apparently to fall on a generator or fall near a generator or fall close enough to a generator that BG said we better shut the generator down for a day and a half. And it's like, but the insurance company's like, no, that's sorry. There's a special insurance for stuff that is not directly affected, but is indirectly affected by the fact that you have no lights, no power, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. So thank you very much. I was telling my wife this morning, I got off the phone with the folks for our Subaru, and they want us to re-up for our warranty on the car, right? Which will fix, he says, all these major things that go wrong with it. You blow a tire, won't do a thing. You need oil change? No, not covered. Which is, of course, the things that you do need 2 or 3 times or whatever a year to be done to your vehicle. Won't do this, I won't do that. But the major, if the electrical goes dead, they'll do that. I'm imagining, as you said, the transition or stuff like that. So, warranty, okay, fine, I get it. Insurance, right? The car is, I think, 6 years old, 5, 6 years old at this point. We don't drive a lot, so we still have fewer than 50,000 miles on it. Well, what might it? So it would be to protect the car. So if something, ooky happens to it, and it's like, oh yeah, well, it will cover 5 years, right? And we have an installment plan, no interest, no whatever. You pay it off in 2 years, and you're covered for 5. I'm like, fine. So what is the total sum over 2 years of this? $5,000 on a $30,000 car. $5,000 for insurance. And it's very, very well, be worth it, but you can't tell. And invariably, it's like a warning sign with the fridge. And it's like, well, you have insurance for the house, you have insurance, but this ain't covered, right? What you actually need isn't covered. We had this is beautiful. We blew a tire because I was horny. we blew a tire. Barely even knew about it a couple of weeks ago. So we had to get AAA over to.
You gotta get AA?
AA. Sometimes when I deal with these people, I want to be on AA. At school, I should be on AA. So we called them over. They put on our spare, but you can't use the spare for more than like 100 miles. It's good for like emergency. Don't go more than 27 miles per hour, and don't go longer than 30 feet. Fine, whatever. Gets us to the Subaru Fix-It people, where we actually have coverage for a tire, right?
Yes.
So, hey, okay, we blew a tire. Can you give us a tire? And of course they're like, well, yeah, we could. We could give you a new tire and put it on there for you, which is covered. However, you know that you've been driving on all 4 tires for these past couple of years, 2 years, and you've had them rotated, for sure, we've done it, yeah. But the tread, if you put a brand new tire on there, right, it's going to ride funny, because this tire will have this gauge and this much, and the other tires are already half worn, and, so really, you should do all 4 tires, right? Even though the other tires are not flat, even though a nail or glass or whatever didn't go through them, honestly, to do right by your car, yes, you only blew 1 tire, but you should replace all 4 tires. I'm like, fine, whatever. You know best. I'm like a car guy. I don't even know you. I don't know if you're fucking me over or just whatever, but what? So we do it. So fine. Several $100s later to change all 4 tires, but we were covered for one of the tires, so it was like $200 or $300 less. Like, thank you very, very much. Thanks for nothing. Right? We have a warranty, we have insurance, we took out a plan, a policy that saved us, and probably someone like your dad, or someone who knows vehicles, is like, whatever, I'll ride for another half a year on these old tires together, and then when a tire blows, I'll change out the tire. Who the hell changes all 4 tires for no reason when 3 of them are still perfectly good, right? But I'm not that kind of thing. I'm like, yeah, you seem to know what you're talking about. Ooh. So I don't know. I don't trust these guys. I am in the decision mode and in the non-trusting of humanity mode at the moment. But anyway, my God, it's almost not quite 10 o'clock. We have a little more time. So did I mention that we do try and eat at new places, but we're not fast food people. I never really was, but I would eat at Burger King and sometimes McDonald's and places like that. It's good. It's tasty. Nothing against them. But here's something that I probably will try at some point, but I saw this, and I'm like, really? You couldn't think of a better name. You couldn't think of something more appetizing than calling a food saucy nugs. This is what they call it. This is Wendy's.
What is saucy? What are they nugs?
The chicken nuggets.
Oh, nuggets.
Yeah. But first of all, nugget is not the most appetizing name
Nugget
of
reminds me
anything.
of like whatever you don't want to eat in the chicken that's left, they put together and like a meatball and fry it, right?
Yeah. It's basically, this is beaks.
I'll ask your phone what kind of meat is chicken nuggets. I'm watching you though.
Yeah, I mean, it's white meat, we know that, but it's white meat from like the ankle or the foot, yeah.
What are chicken nuggets made from?
Yeah, ooh, I don't like that face, yeah.
White meat from the breast or pectoral muscles of the chicken, though other parts like tendons, bones, nerves, and connective tissue may be mixed in. Lower quality nuggets may use poor quality meat from scraps, breadcrumbs, or batter to coat.
Well, sure, yeah.
Include other ingredients: fat, emulsifiers, thickeners, preservatives, fillers, spices, and vegetable oil.
Yeah, spices. Yeah.
And vegetable oil, like.
Well, yeah. Well, it gotta be fried. I mean, they're fine. That's. But yeah, no, they're nugs. Oh, we were in the supermarket yesterday or the day
They had
before.
nuggets?
No,
Oh,
but
yeah,
remember
turkey giblets?
we saw a package of chicken feet. You know, literally, I guess you make soup out of it,
It
or
was
a
called
Spanish
chicken paws. Yeah,
chicken
I'll find it.
paws.
Chicken paws. Here we go.
I'm pausing for effect. Chicken pausing for effect. I've never in my life heard those little yellow feet that chickens have called paws. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
When have they ever been called paws?
I've never heard that.
But here, okay, can I make that bigger? No, it's a little hard to see, but you can probably see it right there. Chicken paws.
Did you ever see that?
Never!
Let me see if there's any reasoning behind this stuff. Chicken paws.
Dogs have paws. Bears, of
It's
course.
pasteurized. Here it says chicken feet.
Well, feet. Chicken have feet.
God.
I would even go with claws.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the difference between chicken feet and chicken paws? What do you think? Take an educated guess.
I would imagine the paw goes higher.
It says chicken paws are similar to chicken feet, but they do not contain the lower leg. They are literally the foot of the chicken, only the paw. This means they will have less glucosamine and collagen than chicken feet, but they're a good choice for pets.
Oh,
Oh, maybe they fry them up.
for pets, I get that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
It says some people eat them. They're beneficial for nails, joints, and bone development.
All right. I mean, again, you could probably make a decent chicken soup out of them. But, you know, if you're figuring you're eating the foot, this is why people are kosher,
Yeah,
right?
literally, it's just
Or
the
halal.
foot.
If you eat a chickens stand in their own shit all day. You know, they're in these pens, right? They're fattened up.
Maybe they clean them.
Well, they've got to be clean. But you think about it, it's like all they do is they're on sawdust, they're in their own feathers, they're in the shit that they make. And now this is literally the part of the chicken that you're eating. But I guess to eat them, you're boiling them, which will get all the bad stuff out.
I've never seen it before, but I don't really go looking
No,
for it.
why? No.
Yeah.
Who would? Who would? Anyway, you're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, and my wonderful wife, and all of you watching at home.
A lot of your people are posting events.
Oh, all right, yeah.
But you have it in your later show, like what's going on, what they're doing.
Yeah.
It seems like a lot of people are doing shows and stuff.
Well, good. Well, yeah.
Is the season picking up now? Is that why?
Well, they're announcing, I mean, we're in mid-August, and the fall off-Broadway and theater and cabaret season kind of starts in mid-September. So you've got to announce now to sort of say, hey, come see me, September 14th at the whatever. So it's happening. As a matter of fact, I made fun on this broadcast about 2-3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
That there was a campaign to save the West Bank Cafe, which is this long-standing cabaret, not really much of a theater venue, but more of a cabaret and also a restaurant-y, bistro, clubby venue, right in the heart, just on the northern border, I guess you could say, of Theater Row on West 42nd Street. And we went to Leslie's birthday party there, and...
Oh, did it close?
Well, there's been a campaign, Indiegogo,
I
or
hope they stay open. It was
Kickstarter
lovely,
campaign.
Yeah.
So, but it was funny because people have pledged several $1,000s.
But what I don't understand, it's a business. How can you?
Well, it might be a for-profit, yeah. So, which means you can certainly donate to a for-profit.
Yeah, but that's weird to me. Like, I don't understand that then.
But New York rents and New York this and post-pandemic.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna look for it.
But here's the deal. So I check on this campaign.
West Bank, a donation campaign.
And to see how they're doing. And they've raised like 30.
West Bank Cafe in New York, donation campaign.
And they've raised about $30,000 or $40,000
Yeah.
towards a goal of $850,000. At first I was impressed. I was like, whoa, 30 grand, 40 grand.
27 people just donated. Here you go.
So let's see what they're up to.
I got it.
Because somebody posted on Facebook.
Is that the correct one?
Yeah, GoFundMe. It's a
Oh,
GoFundMe
okay.
campaign. Thank you, Bev.
What I say? I don't know the name of it.
So okay, look. This is like 2 weeks later.
Can you
They've
see
raised.
if they're not for profit or see what it says? Read if it would. I don't understand.
All right, hold on.
something.
Let me first tell them they've gotten 700 donations. Fantastic.
Wow.
Of almost $90,000.
I loved Leslie's party there. It was one of
Yeah.
the most fun times.
But notice, this is their goal.
What is their
This
goal?
is, and the green is.
Oh no! How do they need that much money?
They need 800, because I guess they want a 10-year plan or
Or
something.
they got back debt. I mean,
Oh,
why don't they just get a financial advisor?
they probably have one now. So they tried to make the place survive the pandemic. It's been difficult, of course. I'm guessing it can't be. Maybe they want to turn it into a 501c3 or landmark it or
they're
something.
They're not the only place. Like that place is pretty. What I don't understand is that place is pretty popular, and people book like shows and part. Like I don't get why would they be closing? That's what I'm not.
Because popular is, I don't know what their rent is.
Oh,
Can you imagine
maybe
what
they had it.
rent is in New York for anything?
Yeah.
And by the way, Tom Dangora is the guy
I see.
organizing this. He is one of the producers of a theater festival I was in many years ago, where they did my show Blame Me. It was like an LGBT festival, and I wrote a quickie little play that they accepted. Even though I'm not LGBT, they're like,
Donate. I don't
yeah.
understand. It says 5
Yeah.
years ago we came together to make sure that it would survive the pandemic. Oh, so they had trouble before the pandemic.
oh,
Because
well.
it says 5 years ago we came together to make sure it would survive the pandemic. So they're still having.
Yeah,
trouble.
the pandemic wasn't even 5 years
No,
ago.
but I think they're
Yeah.
they were.
Well, all cabarets and nightclubs, they're struggling all the time. You wonder why the hell a fucking drink. Why is a beer $10? Why is a mixed drink $18? Why is an appetizer
Yeah.
$17
Yeah.
and you have a $30 cover charge? It's because if they don't fill every seat every show, they're probably hurting. So
They said it opened. When do you think it opened?
1987.
78.
78. Oh, I'm dyslexic. I meant 78. Yeah. So yeah, my God, it's been open 40-something
Why
years
don't
now.
some of the big names who played there, like it says John Patrick, Shane Lee, Aaron Sorkin,
Aaron Sorkin could write like Aaron Sorkin could reach into his back pocket.
Look, no, it says it's not the first time they've had trouble. They've had trouble during the thing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
But someone posted on Facebook this morning or yesterday saying that they can't really talk about it, but there's potentially some really good news. They probably found a whale.
I hope so.
I won't be. Maybe they found some famous person
Well,
who
so
had
then
like
they
500,000.
Then they've renamed the theater for them.
Sure,
probably.
fine, whatever works.
What was Laurie Beachman?
Laurie Beachman was this actress who was in Cats, and she died of cancer. And they
It's
named the theater
after her. Yeah.
Yeah. They'll probably rename it. So if somebody wants to write a check for
Or they could have a black box. Like, don't they have a big and little theater?
Yeah, well, they've got the cabaret space, and I guess the beach one is that separate space in there. And they would do a lot of cabaret in the beach one, for sure, over the years.
Just excuse me 1 second.
So it would be lovely if they say, but as I also said, to quote Dylan, everything passes, everything changes. So if the Beachman and the West Bank Cafe goes under, things go under, things go away. I'm not in New York anymore, and I don't really care, but like CBS News Radio, right? You read about this last week? Been there forever-ish, right? The alternative to WINS radio. CBS Radio, sold to ESPN, and they're going to junk it, and they're going to push everything into WINS for news, and they're going to turn CBS News into another outlet for shitty ESPN sports programming. It's like, whatever. You get to my age, I'm 60, you get to my age, and at a certain point you feel bad, and you feel nostalgic, and that went away, and they died, and wouldn't it be great if everything could just be the way it was in 1972, even though things were shitty in 1972, and you're like, you also have this moment of like, whatever. Well, one cabaret closes. If there were a demand for cabaret, another would open up, right? And there would be another place if it was needed. A theater, burns down, a theater closes down. It is your favorite restaurant goes under, right? Probably wasn't even, you probably haven't visited it much in the past 5 years. And that's one of the reasons they haven't been making any money because people like you stopped visiting or moved away. So it goes away. It does. I'm just saying, like, this idea of holding on to things that you know, CBS. I was saying CBS News radio is bought by ESPN, and they're killing CBS News radio and
I
trying.
didn't know that. I don't know anything. You know, I'm a dumb dumb.
Well, no, what do we know from New York media at this point, or even care? AM radio is going down. Well, AM radio's been going down the toilet since I left it. But well, it's not going to be in cars anymore. They've been talking about this for a year or two. Like,
yeah, that's true too.
So it all goes, and then other things take their place, or they don't, or sometimes you learn to live without, and you do other things. But anyway, I haven't even, my gosh, it's after 10 o'clock in the morning here, Eastern time. I haven't even told you what we're doing on this episode of Dave's Gone By, which will include our guest in the Daverhood coming up in less than half an hour, a guy named Mark Miller, who has written for and sometimes produced television shows over the past like 20, 30, 40 years, including, and I kid you not, the new Odd Couple, so not the original with Jack Klugman and Tony Randall. She's the Sheriff, if you remember that, with Suzanne Summers. What else did he do? Just his name's on a lot of credits of TV shows as a writer and co-producer guy. He wrote for Different Strokes, as a matter of fact. He also worked on one of the later iterations of the Carol Burnett Show. He's written material for tons of comics and MCs and entertainers, people like Jay Leno. And what else? He writes blogs and he writes for various places, comedy and humor. And he will be taking part at the end of the month in a storytelling night in Santa Monica. I'm sorry, what?
The 19th is Soft Surf Day. Look at that on Carvel. See what it says.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Today's
we have to find a Carvel store. Yeah, it's Monday. It's Monday. We'll be busy. But let's watch this again. Carvel. Carvel. 90 cents for a Carvel cone. And which really should only cost 90 cents.
Who was the guy who had the... you want to play it here?
Less air. It's so quick. It goes... It's one of these 5-second things they put on YouTube before. I wish my YouTube commercials were this instead of what they're showing me. Look at it. Look at it. I don't know why it has blood
that's
coming
on your
down.
Facebook. They know it's you. It's on your Facebook thing, your stream. That's it.
Carvel.
I thought it was today. We got to get that calendar.
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely. But anyway, Mark Miller. Mark Miller is going to be a guest in the Daverhood later today on the show, and he'll be talking.
What,
10:30 Eastern. He'll be talking with Rabbi Saul Solomon, the one, the only, the Jewish, will be doing the honors of the interview. Should be a lot of fun, because this guy's worked with tons of notables and celebrities. He's also been in the writer's room of network television, so which has always fascinated me, which has always been like one of the dream jobs that I'm always denied. So it's kind of like, he was there. We've had a couple of people over the years. Ross Brown is someone who did that. We've had some people who've been there and put us in that room. I'm hoping he's going to do it too. So Mark Miller going to be in the Daverhood with us not too far from now. We also have Greeley Times, a segment that we do, which has to do with phone calls that come into the Northern Colorado Police Departments, real phone calls about really weird things. We also have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, which is going to be Arrowhead, Colorado. I've got a poem that I wrote about a real place in Colorado called Arrowhead. I've got a poem for you about that. And we will do, as a matter of fact, maybe we'll have to do it now after the interview, because I wanted to do Dave's Big Dick Sherry, which has to do with, thank you. Oh, all right, I missed the opportunity. Dave's Big Dictionary, where a word of the day randomly comes out, and I have to talk about that
I'm
word.
going to show you on I'm going to give it to you. So yesterday's word was funny, but I sent you, hold on. I call it wood, which is word of the day, Oh, so this is the word from yesterday.
Oh!
No, but listen.
Well,
but
yeah.
underneath, when you click on
Yeah,
that,
but when I
that's the
hit
word
it,
for today.
It went to your email. No. I when I touched it, it went to. Careful. Hold on.
Your phone, hold on. What'd you do?
I don't know.
You replied to me.
We got a better system for handing the phone off and showing stuff.
That's the word of the day. Hold on.
But yesterday's word from Merriam-Webster, the official word of the day from them was tchotchke. Oh my God! I would have had Rabbi Saul do that word of the day, but that was yesterday's word.
There's nothing to.
So today's word is.
That's yesterday's word. You show that.
Well, here's yesterday's.
Read what it says.
Perfect. And what?
But it was funny that they put up, and then I'll give you the word of the day today.
A knick-knack or trinket.
And I'm going to give you.
But that's not today's.
Then they have another site. It's called I forget the name of the site, but it's an Instagram site.
Yeah.
And this is the word of the day today.
Today's word of the day that I'm going to have to talk about is, not bad. Copious. C-O-P-I-O-U-S. Copious, which is a synonym of abundant and plentiful, also used before noun to describe something very large in amount or number. Copious, good word. Tchotchke would have been better, but copious is good.
I didn't pick it. I just thought it was funny when I looked. David, the potatoes are laying face down on the ground. I don't think that's good for them. They're not going to be happy.
Well, guys,
that's okay. It's okay.
So we've got we've got so much going on. We have our sputteroo potato, as well as we were going to name him Billy the Spud, but instead we settled on Rattlesnake Kate.
It gives the yesterday word too.
Yeah, tchotchke. Oh well. So.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Tchotchke.
Gotta love AI saying words. Tchotchke.
And then we'll get.
Joni loves tchotchke.
Copious.
That's the word. Copious. Our word of the day. So I will, on Dave's Big Dictionary, I will later in the broadcast talk for 5 minutes or so about whatever pops into my head when I hear the word copious, which means plentiful or abundant. Okay, I'm going to need to make some room for me here, so I'm just going to put this over here.
What do you need?
Well, I'm a little crying out with spuds.
Here, I'll take them, put them here, let them rest.
Oh, yeah.
Give them a little sun, they want a sunbathe here.
Oh, my wife is putting the blanket on the carpet there so that they can get some nice cowboy rest. We're disturbed people, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, it is Saturday, August 17th, 2024. I'm Dave Lefkowitz. You're watching Dave's Gone By. We got Mark Miller coming up, our Colorado Limerick, our Dave's Big Dictionary.
Are we going to do Greeley
Let's
Times?
do Greeley Times right this very moment. Yes, of course. So, Greeley Times is a real thing. It is a column, well, it's based on a column that appears every week in the real newspaper, the Greeley Tribune. My wife and I lived in Greeley for a bunch of years, and while we were there, this was the town's daily newspaper. And they had a sense of humor there. So every week, they would gather up the funniest real the transcripts or the summary of people who called in to the local police department to complain about weird things happening in their neighborhood. But of course, the phone calls were weird. The ridiculous things were weird. We're not talking about
and she said good luck on your show.
Oh, thank you, Gene. Tell him, why aren't you watching?
Because he's in another time zone. You think he's...
No, it doesn't matter.
I don't know where people are.
Well, he's awake.
I don't know what people
He should be watching this with folks in his lab.
I don't know what people are doing. He's probably doing stuff. I don't know.
Well, okay. If he is right this second curing cancer, he can concentrate on that and not my show. Okay. If he's about to cure cancer or Tay-Sachs, even, I'll go so far, sickle cell anemia. If he has a real breakthrough, like, fair enough, turn off my show, concentrate on the little things in the test tube.
Any of those things, Dave.
HIV, AIDS, any of it. Let them, COVID, cure COVID, please. Then you don't have to watch my show. But if you're just fucking around getting grants, you can have my show on. You know, if you're just trying to prove that you're raising some money to keep your job so you can raise more money to keep your job, to raise more money to keep your job, you can take a couple of hours and watch my show. Anyway, Greeley Times. It's all a racket. Anyway, Greeley Times. Thank you, by the way, to Chris Boland, who does this for the news. Oh, the phone's ringing already. I gotta get my glasses on for this. Oh, these glasses have a receiver right in them, so I can pick up the call right there. Yeah. Could you speak up? Uh-huh. Ah, got it. So this is a caller on 7th Avenue who found a bat in his son's bed early that morning. What?
An animal or the wooden bat? Oh, no.
Yeah. The bat flew away. The dad's question was how to get child shit out of a mattress. No, kidding. I made up that part.
Child shit?
Yeah. How would you, if you woke up in the morning and you saw a bat flying next to you, the mattress would not be clean for various reasons.
That was probably his pet. You know, no.
What child would literally keep a bat as a pet in the bed?
Maybe a vampire baby.
Oh, that could be.
Your child's a vampire.
You know, that would suck. Wait, no, come on.
Oh.
That would suck. See, vampire. Fangs a lot. Okay, all right. Now the phone call. I'll get it. I got it. She actually rings in the glasses. A caller on 95th Avenue said firefighters had come to his property earlier to put out a fire his neighbors.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Sorry, please. Do it. So I get this probably goes back to like early July, but had come to his property earlier to put out a fire. His neighbors started with fireworks, and the neighbors had started lighting off fireworks again. Like they started a fire, and then they're making more fire. Okay. Meanwhile, yes, happy July 4th. Meanwhile, same night, around the same time, a driver on 23rd Street crashed into a fence. You know why?
Why?
He was watching fireworks.
Good Lord. Wait.
But who was our friend? While we were at our friends,
someone popped their head off?
Yeah, someone thought it would be fun and
look
beautiful.
at it,
Looked like there was a guy who.
Man who loved fireworks who blew his own head off.
Yep. This is worth waiting for, folks.
The Dorchester County coroner identified the victim as Alan Ray McGrew, 41, in a news release, adding that.
Oh yeah. I mean, this fits with the news right here. This happened. There's not going to be visuals with this. A South Carolina man died. This was written on July 8th. I imagine it happened on the 4th. South Carolina man dies after putting firework on his head to show off, says his wife. A South Carolina man died on the 4th of July after he placed a firework on his head that later exploded while he was showing off. Let's see some more. Per a news release and incident report obtained by White People magazine writing about this from the Dorchester County Sheriff's Office.
A newsworthy event.
Well, yeah. But they're even given like the 100 block of Cottonwood Drive.
How can they do that?
Yeah, I mean, you can probably find very easily the widow, Alan Ray McGrew. All right, let's go back to People magazine on this. All right. Okay. The device exploded while on top of his head, causing massive head injuries. He was pronounced dead at the scene by like 11 o'clock at night by the coroner. Peggy McGrew, the wife, told authorities that she and her husband were having a block party, and that Alan began drinking around 6 in the evening. Paige, the woman, the wife, advised she observed Alan place a firework on his head, which she believed was done to show off. Paige she said she was trying to tell Ellen not to do that.
Yes, honey.
And men being men is like, especially men with a couple of bruises in them, is, it's a holiday, shut up. There's nothing's going to happen. Right? As the thing went off, she observed her husband collapse. He was holding the firework over his top hat. Well, you figure that would keep him safe.
Yeah, I think top hats are known. Like if there's a nuclear holocaust, you could wear a top hat and be fine.
Before they started wearing
Well,
helmets.
well dressed, the top hat keeps you very well dressed.
It certainly is. And you would figure it's high enough off the head.
Yeah, I would think so, right?
I thought he was just showboating before he set it on the ground.
No.
I didn't realize he already lit it.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah. Her husband, who would have turned 42 years old in less than a month, loved celebrating Independence Day.
I bet he did.
He was an HVAC worker, so safety first,
Yeah.
and father to a son, but he engagement age, not like a young kid.
Oh, okay.
He was a patriot.
Yeah, but what a horrible way to go. Like, that's like...
Not really.
It's a horrible way to go, and also to have people watch you. And,
Yeah.
would you want to be the one who has to take his pulse and stuff like that? Like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, like,
I wouldn't want to take his head temperature, that's for sure.
Like, that's such a mess.
And yeah, I wouldn't want to have to clean his ears out. Yeah. But no, I mean, let's think about it. The thing exploded and he was dead. That's not a bad way to go.
We don't know. We don't know if he suffered. He must have suffered.
Not if it was like boom, it blew his head off.
I don't know. It didn't seem that
I mean,
way.
let's give it up. Let's give it up for ISIS.
No, but massive.
If they
Massive head injury. I mean, poor man.
yeah, but it's probably instantaneous. No, you think he was going like, oh, brain dripping out. At least when they behead you, it just goes. Oh, yeah.
Setting the potatoes.
All right, let's do a couple more of our.
No, look, it's happening.
Oh, they're shaking. The little. Oh no, it's okay. It's okay.
They made Wizzy and Doo-Doo on the floor now.
Aren't they adults? Aren't they grown up potatoes?
No, they're babies. They have no pants. If they were adults, they'd have pants.
I thought they had no pants because there was like a Brokeback Mountain situation.
They need like pants.
Yeah,
They
all right.
need their little boots.
And they do need boots. There's no question. They are cute, but now they've whizzed on the floor. We're
And
gonna
they
have to deal with it.
too.
They make Oh no.
You scared them. They heard about beheading. Oh, they're basically 90% of their body is their head. Uh-oh.
Oh, yes, we have another
Call.
story from Greeley Times. Yes,
Oh, there was the call.
it is a call.
Okay.
Yeah, how come my glasses didn't ring?
Let's try again.
I had the receiver off. Okay. A caller at a hotel
Ooh.
on 9th Street said that a guest was smoking from foil
What the heck?
and brandishing a firearm.
God.
I'm going to aim for that firework.
I think it was the guy before the party.
Yeah. The caller said the man also had a bat with nails in it. Now, this I assume is an actual bat, not
Not a flying bat. Okay,
yeah.
yeah.
And refused to leave the hotel. This is a fine establishment.
That's a good time.
This is a Ritz-Carlton, ladies and
He's
gentlemen,
having a
Greeley.
good time. He's living his best life.
Smoking from foil
Live your best life, you know.
with a gun and a bat with nails.
Yeah, I love it.
He's
I'm just checking for my package. That's what
I beg your pardon?
No, for my expecting delivery.
Oh, cool. Good. So yeah, this is the kind of thing that goes on occasionally in Greeley, Colorado. Do we have another? Oh, it's quiet. Oh, another call. A caller on 14th Avenue said a neighbor was peeking over another neighbor's fence and watching their house.
Uh-oh.
When confronted
Yeah.
by the neighbor, the man told the caller not to worry about it. That's it. It's like, you know what? I like watching you naked. Like watching your children naked. Nothing to worry about. All right, there's some stains on my side of the fence. But other than that, nothing to worry. Not a problem. Not at all. By the way, I should have held this up. Okay.
Yes.
Let's do it elsewhere while we have time, and then we'll get to some more Greeley time. So this is an elsewhere. Oh, honey! Noise! Lots of noise! You know why?
They're saying in here.
Oh,
Can't
chicken alert! Chicken alert! We have a chicken alert!
turn it off.
I got excited. I get very excited because it's a chicken alert, which means we have a story that isn't even from Colorado
David,
about chicken. Yeah.
How could my delivery start at 6:10 a.m. and be here by 9 p.m. tonight? Because I don't want to go to the store.
Well, they're walking it over. The guy's taking the box on
walking
his
it over.
shoulders.
That's
Yeah.
a long,
Yeah. All right. So this elsewhere is from Iowa, Des Moines, Iowa.
Chicken alert in Des Moines.
An Iowa chicken alert.
We never had an Iowa chicken.
Honey,
alert.
this is hold it. Iowa chicken alert.
Damn, David, that was loud.
Iowa's capital city is establishing a new pecking order. Thank you, Associated Press. A new pecking order for backyard chickens and roosters after some of their diehard fans paraded around City Hall with their flocks on Monday.
Wow, well, they're showing off their chicken.
They're showing off their cocks, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I mean it, of course, in a clean way, but it comes out dirty. City Manager Scott Sanders said in a statement he thinks the restrictions should be amended to, quote, better serve the community. Now, you remember last week we had a story about these people, or 2 or 3 weeks ago, about these folks who wanted googly eyes on trains, right? And they won. Was that in Pennsylvania, I think? Or was it?
Oh, I don't know, but we saw that. It was great.
Yeah, they campaigned to actually have googly eyes put on the front of trains, and Amtrak listened, and they did it, or it wasn't Amtrak, wherever it was, maybe in Chicago or something. So yeah, and here again, the people are being listened to. They went around City Hall with all their chickens and roosters. The proposal, which has preliminary approval from City Council, would cut the number of birds allowed from 30 to 12 and ban roosters that disturb the people.
They're protesting.
They're protesting. Yeah, I must have missed a line on this because people were getting angry that the roosters were waking them up. There were chickens everywhere, so they're trying to cut back the number of chickens and roosters and things. But chicken parade organizer. How would you? Wouldn't you love that on your resume?
We're having. Wait, let me see his LinkedIn. Oh look, chicken parade organizer.
Yeah. This is how.
Let me see your phone. I want to look him up.
He'll be the new president of Columbia, ladies and gentlemen.
Your
The
phone,
chicken
your
parade
phone, your phone.
organizer,
That's not your phone, that's your-
Ed Fallon,
Ed Chicken?
said in a statement he thinks the restrictions should be amended. Oh, I said that to be better serve the community. No, I'm sorry, that was the city manager who was saying that. The parade organizer, a guy named Ed Fallon, said the city is overreacting to 3 complaints registered between 2020 and June 2024. So a small group of people holding chickens came out Monday, and the feathers flew. Came out Monday
My eggs go in egg hatching.
and they marched. This is better than Martin Luther King, ladies and gentlemen. This is not Selma. This is the chicken parade from the State House to City Hall in Des Moines, Iowa. I guess they all marched around the block.
Okay. Oh, did you say that?
I did say that. Well, the people were heard, and the new rules will allow roosters, but they will require chickens to be licensed, and there will be a process set up for dealing with nuisance animals that cannot contain their cock-a-doodle-doos. And they wrote, that's an AP line.
Oh, too much doodle?
Yeah, so if there are people complaining about noise, there will actually be a process to do something about it if that's a problem, as opposed to holding all rooster owners responsible or banning roosters or banning chickens. See, it's called compromising. It can be done.
I love that.
It actually can happen. People can compromise with each other. So, yay. All right, we have time for one more Greeley time, and then we have our guest in the waiting room waiting to go on. So
Really?
let's
Oh, wow.
let's do one more, and then we'll
geez,
finish.
no, you only got 1 minute. Okay,
Yeah, no, I can't get this call. Gotta get this phone call. Oh, hello. Oh, good. Thanks for not hanging up. Yeah, where are you? 29th Street? Okay, what's the matter? Okay, your neighbors are playing loud music. And he said the people at the address were possibly drinking and using cocaine.
And putting firecrackers
And
on there.
firecrackers on. Now, I understand loud music. You would know that.
Yeah.
And I understand even drinking because you hear yelling and drunk people standing outside.
Mm-hmm.
How would you guess that they're using
I believe
cocaine?
He was a member of the party. I would just probably.
Oh, you know.
I would say he probably had visited the party and they didn't want him anymore. Maybe that's why.
I guess he didn't have the white stuff.
Ba-dum-bum.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Greeley Times for this Saturday morning.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool.
Oh, he was not.
I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi!
Yippee-yi, 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 yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is 10:30 in the morning Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. You're watching the 956th episode of the Dave's Gone By Show with me, Dave Lefkowitz. But I'm stepping away for a moment to bring in Rabbi Saul Solomon, who's been with us since our very first episode. He does rabbinical reflections, which are like these sermonettes. He also, if you go to his website, shalomdammit.com, you can find out all about him. But he is here to interview our guest in the neighborhood, a humorist and a longtime television writer named Mark Miller, who's going to tell us all about his adventures in the comedy trade. And so, Rabbi Saul, he's coming in. Let's bring him right in the room. Shalom, my friends. Shalom, my enemies. This is Rabbi Saul Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And it is lovely and delightful for me to be here in this mid-September Shabbos with you in the Daverhood, talking Jewy things, talking comedic and humorous things, which is what I love. I love to laugh, God damn it. There is nothing that makes me happier than laughing. And I'm going to be able to do that because we have a humorist, we have a comedy writer, we have a funny, fun person with us in the neighborhood. The poem that you're looking at right now is from a fellow named Mark Miller. Now, Mark has had a long career. He's been a TV writer. He's written, aside from columns and articles, he's written for Huffington Post, AARP magazine, and Jularius.com. This is a website. Did you know? I did not. Jularius.com. But he's also written a lot for TV. He wrote for one of the later Carol Burnett TV shows. He's written material for Jay Leno. He has also been in the writer's room for the new Odd Couple, the one, I think it's the one with the Schwarzes in it. There's Different Strokes, She's the Sheriff, The Munsters Today, with the late Conrad John Shuck. Oh my God, and even the new Hollywood Squares. Ladies and gentlemen, won't you please welcome to the Daverhood on this Shabbos morning, Mark Miller. Shalom, Mark. Oh, hold on. You gotta go on mute. You gotta go on mute your thing there. Hold on. I can't hear what you're saying.
Thank you, Rabbi.
You're most
I'm
welcome.
delighted to be here. I apologize for being on mute.
Yeah, it's Goyim. They don't know how to work machinery. But let me ask you, first of all, a very important question. You look Italian rather than Jewish. What are you? What's your thing?
I'm Jewish, but I have the body of an Episcopalian.
I see that. You're not overweight, which is shocking to me at your age. And writing for television, you figure all you do is eat snack food. How do you keep your slim and svelte figure?
I'll tell you, I'm one of those annoying health people. I'm a vegan. I regularly exercise. I do yoga. I do resistance bands work. I walk, start every day with a 45-minute walk, exercise walk, and I bicycle and a little swimming as well.
Yeah, wow, how do you find the time? Well, like, you know, you probably made some money in TV. You can do whatever the hell you want. But why did you go vegan? Why did you give up meat?
First of all, my father died at the age of 62. He was overweight, high blood pressure his whole life. So I sort of went in the opposite direction. And after college, I moved out to San Francisco from the East Coast. And that's a very health-oriented place. And in Los Angeles, at Whole Foods Market, they had a series of lectures by vegan chefs and vegetarian chefs. And what they said made sense. And as I looked into it, it sort of seemed the right thing to do for the planet, for the animals, and for our bodies. It just made perfect sense for somebody who wants to live longer than 62 and in good health.
So have you outlived your dad? Are you, as Loudon Wainwright saying, are you older than your old man now?
I'm 71, but I have the body of a 68-year-old.
Funny, but no, I mean, you don't look 71. You really don't. I'm Muslim, by the way. So
Thank you.
Now let's talk about, more importantly, how Jewish were you when you were being raised?
We belonged to a conservative temple. I had a bar mitzvah. I went to Hebrew school before all that. But after, like so many people, after the bar mitzvah, became more secular. Went to a regular college, and I started worshiping women rather than.
Yeah. So you're not homosexual.
Exactly.
So all right, but you still like Yom Kippur. You're vegan, so you're almost fasting anyway. Do you celebrate Yom Kippur? Do you do anything? You're just kind of, it's a day.
Yeah, cultural Jewish. Went to holidays. The big holidays at the temple, and love the history of Jews.
Yes.
Proudly identify as a Jew. Just never got into the regular religious part of it.
Fair enough. And I hope you are at least on some level a Zionist. Please, God.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Not
Yes.
one of these left-wing morons. Thank you, God. All right. So now let's get into funny things. How did you become a professional writer?
By accident. I'm currently, in fact, I'm in the storytelling community in Los Angeles, and the current story I'm working on is titled "My Accidental Career as a Sitcom Staff Writer." Like so many things in our lives and in my life, I never planned for them, but fell into them by accident. So when I moved out to San Francisco after college as an English major, after having failed to get a job in New York City, which was my first choice, I thought in New York City, how cool would it be to work at one of the big publishing houses as an editorial assistant, helping really talented writers with their work. The publishing houses didn't share my dream for me. I guess they wanted people with more experience. So I thought, if I'm going to be miserable and unemployed on the East Coast, living in a city with my parents in a place where I didn't know anybody because they moved there when I was in college, why not start over in a very cool city of my choice and narrow down the choices to Washington, D.C. and San Francisco? Chose San Francisco and moved out there with 2 suitcases, not knowing anybody, and stayed at the Harcourt Residence Club, place where you could rent by the day, week, or month, and you got your meals there. And one of the people I met there.
So you can rent there by the hour. I'm trying it.
By the hour?
Yeah. Don't tell my wife. Yes. I don't know how I know that. I have no idea how I know that. It's okay.
So one of the people I met who was staying there was a guy named Tony DePaul, and he was doing stand-up comedy at a little place called the Intersection Coffee House in the North Beach section of San Francisco, the Italian section. And it was a basement of a church. He invited me to come see him perform, and I did, and I was blown away. I'd never seen people my own age doing stand-up comedy. I remember Alan King on the Ed Sullivan Show, Rodney Dangerfield, people like that. But these were young people my own age right in front of me doing stand-up comedy. And I thought, I'm a writer. Maybe I'll sort of keep coming to these things and pretend I'm interested in becoming a comedian and end up doing a story. Maybe the national press would be interested in this. So that's what I did. I kept coming to those things. And gradually, I liked it so much, I lost interest in doing the story, but started putting together a 5-minute routine for myself. It took me 2 months to work up the courage because I'm naturally a shy person, but eventually I did it. And the first time I went on stage, it went well, went really well. Of
It
course, I
always goes
bombed.
well the first time, and then the
Yeah,
second time you bomb, and then the third time
exactly.
you start learning. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly right. But it was in my bloodstream and I started doing it. And I ended up staying there for 4 years in San Francisco, doing it at the same time in the same freshman group of unknowns as Dana Carvey and Robin Williams. They worked at that very place.
So wait, stop there, because already I want to unpack a couple of things. Do you remember? I bet you do. Do you remember any bit or jokes from that first 5 minutes that you came up with all those years ago?
I do. I did my impression of a hamster making love, and I would start doing hamster sounds like, and it would end up with my going, and then I'd say, was it good for you too? And I'd always got a laugh to the
Yeah,
audience.
yeah, it's
So
good. It's good. It's funny. It's cute. I like it. Yeah.
that was the one of the routines, but mainly it was autobiographical. People said I reminded them of Woody Allen, Dick Cavett. I
Did
make
you
fun
have
of
the
my
glasses at that point already? Were you on the? And they're not
yes.
a prop, right? They're not. You can't do this like I can do with this, which is. I can't do it. Oh, I gotta close this. Hold on. So, yeah, pardon me. Had to cough up some phlegm. So, you did the 5, and then you went well, and then you started to do. Did you do the thing of like 5, 6, 7 times a night for weeks, or they don't have, or do they have that out there in California the way they have it in New York?
This was in 1975. They did not have comedy clubs. This was like the only thing going in San Francisco at the time. So you couldn't do it that many times. But I got totally into comedy, reading books about comedians, autobiography of Lenny Bruce, that sort of thing. And we became friends, all the comedians doing it together.
So
We
you
tried
knew
to,
at that era, you knew Dana Carvey, and you
yeah,
knew Robin. So do you have
Robin
any
Williams.
Carvey stories? First of all, do you have any memories of hanging out with him, having a burger, having a whatever, or so
Yeah, we all hung out together. Dana Carvey was big into lifting weights at the time, and he had just graduated from college, very young, but he was brilliant at doing impressions, and we were all very supportive of one another.
And what about of Robin Williams?
Ended up going to his wedding out there to Valerie Velarde, who he met in a bar in San Francisco. She was a waitress. Robin.
Well, he was not. At the time that you went to his wedding and all that, was he already famous, or was he still young, scrappy?
No, nobody had ever heard of him. He hadn't done anything of fame, but the first time he came by the little intersection coffee house and did a bit on stage, we were all watching him like this. We couldn't believe it. He was so far above and beyond any of us. We knew right from the first time we saw him that he was destined for stardom and he was something special.
So were you, over the years, I mean, you went to the man's wedding, did you keep in touch? Did you ever write for him, work with him, or you were friendly back in the day, but your paths never crossed again?
We were never friends, but we always said hi to each other in comedy clubs. And he wrote me a quote for my book of published humor essays, and he was always nice as could be to me.
And I guess the question, I mean, not to be unfunny, but did you ever have any clue when you knew him young that he had, that there was an impressive personality, that there was an up, but there was also a down?
Off stage, when we went to get a bite to eat or a drink afterwards, he was very shy and low key and sweet. So we saw that he turned it on for stage, and then he could easily just turn it off and relax and be normal off stage.
Right, but that isn't the kind of person who hangs himself. That's what I'm trying to,
Right. So he was diagnosed with something called Lewy body dementia. So it's a form of dementia, and you're not really yourself. It sort of takes over you. So I don't think it was his personality that did it so much so as the disease he developed.
All right, fair enough. Now, who else? You mentioned those two names. Were there others who came up in the ranks with you in the mid-'70s? Because that was still the era of like people like David Brenner and Letterman and Pryor and Carlin. as opposed to the new crop who are more like 1980s that you're mentioning, I think.
Right. Those names you mentioned were generation before, primarily out of New York. I guess Lenny Bruce worked in LA a lot, but again, generations before. In my group, Bill Rafferty went on to a show called Real People. He made it well. And who else can I say? There were a few others that you probably wouldn't know as well. With Dana Carvey, I ended up writing on contributing to his show. He did a sketch comedy show on TV later on.
So, all right, so how did you get from being part of this group of hustling to try and be a comedian to getting into the writing for TV comedy?
So the standard thing to do would be to start out in one of these smaller cities, Chicago, Texas, some cities, San Francisco, and then make your way to Los Angeles. So that's what happened. Robin went first, and obviously, he got on Laugh-In, he got Mork and Mindy, and sort of that was the route. That's where all the talent is. That's where the talent buyers were. So in everybody's mind,
he was in. You were in LA. He was already in LA, and these things are LA things. He can go to Texas and to Chicago and whatever.
No. I'm saying comedians start out in Texas. There's the Texas comedy scene in Houston, in Chicago, in smaller cities, and usually you do it there. You get your chops together and make your way to LA. So in all our minds in LA, we had heard of the Comedy Store. That was the big place where you're discovered. And also the Improv was there at that time, the LA branch of the New York Improv nightclub. And so we thought when we were ready, we'd move down there and try our luck. So what happened with me was Jay Leno was in town in San Francisco playing the Playboy Club. And we went to see him. And then he's known for coming out to local comedy clubs after his performances, and he did, and he saw me and he was very supportive, and he said, if you're ever down there, let me know and I'll help you get on at the clubs. And that's what happened. He helped me circumvent the audition process at the Improv and helped me become a regular there. And then I got in at the Comedy Store through the audition process there. Mitzi Shore was the owner.
Was the one with Mitzi Shore.
Mitzi Shore and Bud Friedman was the Improv.
Right.
So I played both of them regularly, and then you get to know a whole other set of comedians at a higher level, and that led into my meeting one comedian there who somehow he was a writer also, and he had a deal to do a script at the Jeffersons, but he wanted a partner. He wanted somebody who was better at writing than he was. So he asked if I'd like to join him. And of course I did. And that became my first paid script, an episode of The Jeffersons.
I mean, it's not like I remember every episode of The Jeffersons, but can we, which one? What did you write?
The title was the Millionth Customer, and it dealt with George Jefferson, who was a dry cleaner, his occupation. His wife, Louise, she ends up walking into one of his competitors' dry cleaning stores. And as soon as she walks in, buzzers sound, confetti drops, lights go off. She's the 1 millionth customer. TV cameras appear. And obviously it makes no end of embarrassment to George because his competitor's getting all the publicity. And that was
that's a brilliant like one-line prep. Was that your idea or your partner's idea for the script? You may have done all the writing on it, but whose idea was the initial idea for that?
To be perfectly honest, that was an idea that the producers had, the staff had. They gave it to us, and our job was to come up with an outline for it with a beginning, middle, and end, 3 acts, and then submit that, and then write the script for it, which we did.
So once you got that Jefferson's credit under your belt, what was your next gig?
Then the next, this is going to sound really bizarre. That was a 1 episode thing.
Yeah.
Then my partner and I, who was Black, we decided what can we do? What's our next step? We both had resumes. We both had the writing sample of this script. and individual spec scripts we had done on our own. I think I had one for Taxi, and he had one for something else. So this is going to sound like I'm making it up, but I swear it's true. We were walking along Sunset Boulevard. They used to have these things called phone booths. We stopped into a phone booth to make a call and put resumes on top of the phone booth when we went in there to make a call, and the wind blew them away. And the next day we get a call from a manager, a talent manager on Sunset Boulevard, who had found one of the scripts and said, would you guys be
Scripts or resume? You found the resume? Or
I'm sorry, one of the resumes.
Yeah.
And said to us, would you guys possibly be interested in doing an episode for a new sitcom that's about to start at Paramount? And the sitcom was called The New Odd Couple, which is the black version of The Odd Couple.
Demond Wilson, and who was the other guy? It was
Ron Glass.
Ron Glass from Barney Miller. Yeah.
Exactly. So of course we had to sell ourselves after that. We had to go in and meet with the manager. He had to read our scripts, and then he ended up submitting them to the powers that be at Paramount. They had us come in and interview with the producers of the show, and we ended up being hired as I guess they liked the fact that we were a black and white writing team because it was a black show.
Yeah.
So
I heard. Yeah. But let me ask you, what is it like in those kinds of? I mean, obviously you're sweating bullets. You want the job. You're young and hungry, both of you. So, do you feel incredible pressure? Is it mellow? Are they bullshitting through their teeth every minute that they're talking to, even though you got the gig? I mean, what is it like?
It's pressure because both of us were brand new to it. We didn't know what was what. So, I mean, part of that is good because you have the freedom to do what you want. But I remember it just being fun and lots of laughs, both in writing the scripts, going to the readings where we hear the actors read our words, seeing the stuff come to life on stage. And it was a whole other world. Long nights around the table with the other writers. Ordering in food for those long nights, sometimes into the early morning hours. But it was just fun.
So, let me, because we now have this image, and it's probably true, of these modern sitcoms where they've got like a dozen people around the table. And then there's one who's been there since the show began, but they're not actually writing anymore. They're just making sure that storylines are still being developed. Back in the day, was it like 2 or 3 writers and they went into the room and that was it, or what? Or the producers were there? How many people were in that room as, you're going through the week's script?
Yeah, it was closer to the 12, as you first say, and it was a mixture of young, no experienced writers like ourselves. And on the other end of the spectrum, we had a guy named Harry Crane, who had written for The Honeymooners. He was a veteran Jewish writer, and he was like a walking compendium of jokes and bits. And he was an invaluable resource to have along. And then in between, we had other writers who had written for other shows, including The Cosby Show and other respected shows. So there was a whole range of people. You had people with sitcom writing experience, stand-up comedians, people from Broadway, who would be great at structure and story to balance out jerks like us, who were the jokes people.
Yeah, the joke machines versus, yeah. Let me ask you, The New Odd Couple was not a hit. Did it last a season or 2 seasons? I mean, how long did it go?
It lasted 2 seasons.
2 seasons, so that's not so bad. That's But did you feel like everybody wanted you to fail? Because The Odd Couple is like this sacrosanct, not only a play and movie, but a TV show, one of the greatest sitcoms of all time. Did you go in there thinking there's no matter, we could do the best scripts in the world, nobody's gonna care?
Well, here's part of the insurance on that is that, number one, Gary Marshall was the executive producer, so he was the overseer. And number two, we weren't starting completely from scratch because we used the storylines from the original scripts and updated them. So, to bring in the black element, bring in modern references and change stories in different ways. So we had help in that sense. So I don't think anybody was hoping for us to fail. Maybe the strict adherence to the original Odd Couple,
Because also they even updated the Odd Couple a couple of years ago with that dead guy from Friends, and it was pretty funny. But it's like, why? Think of something new, for God's sakes. Why do we need another Tony Randall was perfect. Jack Klugman was perfect. I don't know. But you also did the new Monsters, which, as someone that seemed like a pretty good idea. How was it working on that?
That was called The Munsters Today, and it was a colorized version of the original black and white one with a new cast, and that was a pure joke show. That was a joy to write on, and that lasted a few seasons, and it was just a fun, silly show. No, well, I was going to say no deep messages, but sometimes we would have specific, morals or lessons or things like that.
What was your worst writing experience in terms of television?
We had a show with a producer who, let me contrast it. Gary Marshall had a famous saying, which was, "Life is more important than show business," which was a heavy lesson. You wouldn't hear this coming out of the mouths of agents, managers, producers, production people.
Or rabbis, for that matter. Yeah.
Or rabbis. So I'm not going to name the show or the producer to get them in trouble, but we had a producer who was the opposite of that, felt that show business was more important than life. He didn't have a family, and the show was all important. So he was not adverse to staying with us, his family, all through the night, and loved it. Plus, he loved to eat, so everything centered around ordering the food and choosing from the menus. And he was a little bit egocentric, so he would look for opportunities to write himself into the shows as an actor.
Actor too, as he would play bit parts on his own, right? Okay.
Yeah.
But that doesn't sound like a terrible, like a tyrant kind of. Even that doesn't sound like a bad experience, though, really, or was it?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you somebody who whipped me and kept me in a closet locked. There was nobody like that.
Right. No, so but let me ask you then. So it sounds like you have a pretty charmed existence in terms of writing script.
Yeah, I'll tell you the worst part of being a staff writer, and that is there's no guarantees, and I guess that could hold for a lot of jobs. I love the coffee cup. But when the job ends, if the show is canceled, you don't automatically start work on something else. It's like you're starting over. You got to find another job. So there were many periods of unemployment, and that may be the worst part of it.
Yes, I can understand you being unemployed after a script or two, but once you've written for several seasons on the Monsters Today show, once you did this and that and this, and I would figure the agent just says, Monday morning, you got to call for this. Tuesday, all right, no, you get 24 hours off, but Tuesday we need to fly you to here to do, no?
Really? Well, those shows are already in motion with their full staffs, so they don't need anybody. B, the people that get the few jobs remaining, because remember, there's only X number of sitcom staffs. And this was in an era where reality shows were coming in because they were cheaper to produce. So there were fewer sitcom staff opportunities, and those tended to go to ones with people coming from shows with classy credits, Taxi, Cheers, Cosby, those kind of backgrounds.
As opposed to She's the Sheriff.
She's the Sheriff, or the new Odd Couple. And C, you're competing with everybody else in town for them. So it's not a given. You don't automatically start for those reasons.
And did you feel, because these TV credits are from a few years ago, did you, as they say, age out? Is there a certain point when your age, or you feel like, you know what, if I were 30, I'd still be getting jobs, but once I hit 45, 50, that's going to the college kids from Yale?
Yeah, there was even an ageism lawsuit that I was part of, because statistically it was found out that, once you pass the age of 40, it becomes harder and harder and more challenging. And we actually won the lawsuit and got some payment from the studios for it. So, yes.
Then the students paid you off, and they still hired, 19 or 22-year-olds coming out of Columbia and whatever, Northwestern.
Yeah. Exactly. But so in my case, it forced me to look for other avenues to make a living from my writing. And I was never somebody that insisted on having a sitcom career. I just loved the process of writing anything and getting paid for my writing. So I ended up having a whole other, actually two other careers as a journalist and as a marketing writer, writing for businesses, copywriting, promoting their work.
Yeah, I was wondering because to say to be a journalist, that's not so unless you're with a newspaper or a magazine. It's all spec, and there's another thing, you get a paycheck, and then 5 weeks later you get another story. But in marketing, I can see where that would be a more steady kind of because you're married or were married or are married, were kids, whatever.
I was married with kids at the time. I'm currently divorced with kids.
So, are you out there single and ready to mingle? Oh, you wrote a book about it.
I did, and that book actually came from my journalism career because I lucked out. One day, the Los Angeles Times said, we're starting a new column called Laugh Lines. And if you can write jokes or humor essays, we're interested. And I did, and I ended up being one of the regular people there. So the book I wrote is a compilation of my humor essays, a lot of them about, in fact, most of them about dating. It's called 500 Dates. And they're a compilation of my published humor essays about my online dating adventures.
So, all right. First of all, the book is called 500 Dates: Dispatches from the Front Lines of the Online Dating Wars, which is available still from Amazon.
Amazon or anything else.
Now,
Barnes and Noble.
So, what are like one or two of the worst dates that you ever had dating? But post divorce, yeah.
I showed up for one date, and often on these online dating sites, you'll just get headshots from the neck up. So it turns out that the bottom was enormous of this person, almost circus freak enormous.
Oh,
so that was a surprise.
Especially when you crawled out the next morning, like, I shouldn't have that fourth vodka. Yeah.
Often, as you probably are aware, people misrepresent themselves on the dating profiles. And when I got to the coffee date for another date, she admitted that she was, in fact, 15 years older than she had stated on her dating profile. And 15 years. And when I seemed a little perturbed by that, she accused me of being shallow.
Or ageist, for that matter. How did she look? Did you sort of say, oh, she looks 25 years older than, or no?
Yeah, she looks substantially older than her photos. Obviously, people are using younger photos from a lot.
What was the best, without getting into dirty, naughty sexual things, although if you want to, we certainly can. I even have the sign ready for dirty stories as well as clean ones. But were there dates that were spectacularly wonderful?
Yes, I'm currently 8 years into a relationship with somebody that I met with online dating, and that's happened a couple times. They'll work out. The challenge is you have to kiss a lot of frogs before you meet your princess. So a lot of people don't have the stomach for dating, and you have to be willing to endure those other dates. For me, it paid off because it led to the book.
Because you make a wonderful girl, you've been with her. No, I kept to the book. Yeah. Show business truly is everything. That producer was right. Fuck real life. Show business is really everything. But let me. The important question here: the girl that you've known for 8 years. A, is she Jewish? B, are you going to put a ring on it? Answer either question first.
She's Jewish. I think we're both happy with the way things are for now.
Yes, but how will you raise the children?
Yeah. Things are good.
Now, where are you writing for these days? Because are you still a marketing professional, or did you retire from that? Or where can we read you now?
I'm semi-retired now, meaning I do freelance working in both the comedy writing and marketing world, and I'm having fun being part of the Los Angeles storytelling scene, which is a collection of clubs where you go and you tell true stories about your life, mostly funny. I have one coming up on the 30th of August called NDA, which stands for Non-Disclosure Agreement. And
That's at the Crow, by the way, which is in Santa Monica, California.
at the Crow, and I will tell the story of how my whole life, as well as my career, was unplanned. How I've sort of succeeded by drifting accidentally from one thing to another without having any goals in life.
So are you compiling the other writings since since the Bad Dates book or the 500 Dates book? Are you compiling other things into another book perhaps, or is it just catch as catch can for the storytelling, or what?
Eventually, I'd like to compile it into a book, but from now, I'm just accumulating the ammunition for that.
Oh, I like the phrasing, accumulating the end. So we're talking, by the way, I keep forgetting to re-mention your name. It's Mark Miller, and there's so
Yes.
many Mark Miller. If you Google Mark Miller, you won't find him. If you Google Mark Miller comedy, you won't find him. Every other person on the street is fucking named Mark Miller. So you've got to look for his website, which is markmillerhumorist.com. markmillerhumorist.com to learn more about the NDA show that he's doing, and also the other pieces and things that you've done in your career, in your past. But let's just tell please more war stories, even though they're not war stories, they're happy, wonderful stories about celebrities that you've worked for, written for, been on TV shows, writing for, or even back from the comedy club. Who else? Tell us.
Different Strokes, one of the shows I was on, was famous for its stunt casting. It would have people that ordinarily you wouldn't think it would have any connection to this family, the Drummond family. He was a wealthy businessman, but how would he know Mr. T? And yet Mr. T was one of the guest stars, as was Milton Berle. And Milton Berle, we worked into a storyline where Gary Coleman was going to have a bar mitzvah somehow. I don't remember how that happened, but I have an image of him wearing a yarmulke.
Whose idea was that? Was that the producers or yours?
I may have had something to do with that. I don't know. But so it was great fun meeting these celebrities. And
well, Uncle Milty could be kind of difficult. I know he was on Saturday Night Live. How was he on that week that you had him for Different Strokes?
He was good. He behaved himself. As long as you kept the subject to talking about him, you were on fair ground. Who else?
What was Gary Coleman like? Did you ever have any interactions with him? Because he was a nutty little fella. So
yeah, whenever you're on a staff, you have close and frequent interactions with the people. They have to go through a read through initially of the script, and then rehearsals, and you give them notes. And same way, he was all in his head. It was like you didn't exist. He didn't see you. He would smile, but to expect him to ask about you or how was your weekend, you wouldn't get anything like that. But
what about though? Have you ever stood close enough to Conrad Bain to smell him? I've always wondered what Conrad Bain smells like.
That's my one regret, is that I never gave him a sniff.
You never gave Conrad Bain a sniff. That's a wasted opportunity right there, ladies and gentlemen.
Two of the people I worked for were absolutely wonderful for writers, and one was Suzanne Summers on She's the Sheriff.
Was she
Yeah.
nice?
She had us, all the writers, out to her house for lunch, and she treated us with respect. I guess from Three's Company, she realized the value of writers and appreciated that. And the other person was Carol Burnett, who couldn't have been nicer and sweeter to writers. I was on a show, it was like a new Carol Burnett show where they were putting together a new hip cast that would supposedly appeal to the Saturday Night Live audience of sketches, but that didn't last more than a season. They wanted to see her classic sketches, and they weren't ready for that.
And Tim, what year? What it was called the new Carol Burnett show? When was this? When?
Maybe around 97, 98. I'm probably completely wrong, but it was something like that.
Now, did any of those young hip cast members actually go on to be, the way Steve Martin came out of forgotten shows like the Starland Vocal Band show, and then Steve Martin was there. Were any of the people there we know now as like, oh my God?
Yes. One of them, Linda Wallum, went on to create the show Nurse Jackie. She became the executive producer and creator of that. And who's the guy? I always forget. He's like a big, loud Jewish guy. He's been on, he's been on Curb Your Enthusiasm. I'm sorry, my
Not Richard Kind, who's not very.
yes, Richard Kind was a cast
Richard?
member
Yeah, okay.
of that show. And
Big, loud Jewish Richard Kind. Yes, okay.
I apologize for describing him that way, but yeah, he's probably the best known of those people.
Well, no, he's gotten pretty. Let me ask. This does bring up a question because you went right from the whole sitcom world, and as you said, you did that lawsuit, you aged out, and so forth, and went right to journalism and other things. But what about opportunities, or have you not even really dipped a toe in, video series like the streaming stuff, the online shorts, 10-minute sitcom thing that really took off during the pandemic, and I guess is still kind of there. What about all that? You just
I have not dipped my toe into that kind of stuff, though. It's in my mind. I have dipped my toe into the feature comedy world and hooked up with a producer named Bob Kosberg, who's still active today, Kosberg, and he's known as the king of pitch in Hollywood for his ability to go into a studio and get a deal to make a movie based on what started out as a one-liner, high-concept pitch. And he did that to me a couple of times, and he actually describes his adventures with me in his book called How to Sell Your Idea to Hollywood. So
did you ever get, I know you probably have movies in development, did any get made?
One TV movie got made called Home by Midnight, and we got paid for the concept of it. I think different writers ended up writing it, but the concept was a girl goes out and has adventures on the town. She's like a teenage girl having a date for her first time. And her father is so concerned about her on her first date that he secretly follows her through the date. And the date, ironically, turns out to be the sweetest, most ironic, respectful date in history. But every possible hellish situation happens to the father as he's following his daughter.
I kind
So
right there, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
You could probably crunch that. The producer guy could crunch that into like 15 words and go boom, and he sold it, and it was made. It was released theatrically, or where was it?
On TV. It was TV.
Who starred? Who was in it? Who played the dad? I mean, we can look it up, but
and again, it was a black cast. I think Clifton Davis might have been the dad, and I think Tempest Bledsoe, one of the Cosby girls, was the daughter.
So how long did you work specifically with this black part? It sounds like you guys were together as a team for a decade or two, rather than you going off, because you're still doing these black shows, or no? Or
no, we were only together for the Jefferson script and for the New Odd Couple for that series. And then we went our separate ways. And when I went to Different Strokes, I partnered up with a different person, another white Jewish guy who could write for black characters. So there were two of us.
It's just something else, isn't it? It's just like, back in the day, it's like, yes, we're doing a black show in 1970s, 1980s, and this is important, and we have to have some black representation. But really, we need Jewish writers no matter what.
Yes.
The Martin Luther King roots story. Oh no, we need Jewish writers. We gotta have it. So, did you also work with Roseanne at some point? Roseanne Arnold. Speaking of Jews.
I had one joke writing session at her house with her and contributed some material to her. She was very complimentary. And then I went on to sitcom staff work, and she went on. I think we all know what she went on to, but
this was before she was okay. So wow.
Because she was one of the ones at the Comedy Store who did stand up and was discovered there.
So you saw her really rising as a rising
Yeah, and I think as we were talking before, where you come from other places to Los Angeles or New York, I think she was part of the Denver group of comedians before she arrived here.
Now, what about Rodney? You knew Rodney Dangerfield.
I sold him one joke. In fact, he was on the Paramount lot. I don't even know if he was working for our show or another show, but I remember walking with him as he walked on the lot and said, are you open to buying material, looking at material? And he said, yes. And he ended up buying one joke from me, which was something along the lines of, I know my daughter's loose. Guy in a singles bar asked what her sign was. She said, yield.
All right, funny. With the Rodney things, oh, my daughter don't get no respect.
Yeah.
No respect at all. Nowadays, a comedian now says, oh, she's such a slut. She's such a, different times. And also, I got to ask, did you also sell material or whatever to Joan Rivers?
I did. She came into the Improv frequently to check out the talent or perform, and I approached her, and she was open to material, and ended up both submitting stuff to her and being invited to her house where we would have joke writing sessions. Her husband Edgar was still alive, so he was hovering in the distance to make sure I wasn't Fabio and she wasn't succumbing to my charms.
Well, you're not a bad-looking guy, you were single, or maybe not at that point. But yeah, all right. Did she succumb? Did she? No.
No, but she was notorious for underpaying writers. I think she paid something like $7 or $8 a joke when the standard thing was $25 or $50 a joke. But I guess she felt you could trade off on the prestige value of working with Joan Rivers.
Yeah. Also, she tells a lot of jokes very quickly. So it's very expensive for her to fill 75 minutes. Which
exactly.
You have to buy 150 jokes. And
exactly right.
It adds up, I got to tell you.
Yes.
So you're doing storytelling now. Will you ever do stand-up again, or story as a mellow word, kind of like, I want to read, I want to get laughs in a gentle way?
I did stand up, and for about 10 years, I got it out of my system, and I started getting bored with my own act, and it was more fun and challenging for me to write new things in other people's voices, or to write these true stories for my life where you could go deeper and expand the thing rather than one-liner jokes, which was my style. So I don't feel any urge to get back into stand-up.
Now, the other question is since you're Jewish and you do script writing, you never wrote a play.
Never wrote a play.
Why the theater bug did not get? Because you were in LA or something, or why? Why not? I mean, you figure you would have tried that, especially being in New York at first.
I guess the wisdom was that there was no money in it. That all the money was in TV and movie writing. So I thought, why not start with those? Also, plays seem to be very deep and exploring character and story, and it didn't seem to lend itself to a guy whose strength was one-liners.
Don't tell that to Neil Simon, but okay.
Exactly right.
Or to who's that guy? The guy on Broadway right now, with O'Mary. What's his name? The fella. He makes fun of Lincoln getting shot, and it's funny. Cola Scola is anyway. But here's the thing: we've been talking to Mark Miller. So remember that his website is markmillerhumorist.com. markmillerhumorist.com to also find out all the things he's doing, where else he'll be storytelling. But his first big gig, his latest big gig, is August 30th. I don't know what day of the week that is. Do you know off the top of your brain there?
I believe it's a Friday.
Oh, Shabbos evening. All right, if you're not religious, go to see the NDA show. He will be one of several storytellers there at a place called The Crow in Santa Monica, California. You can also still get copies of his book on Amazon and other places books are sold. It's called 500 Dates, Dispatches from the Front Lines of the Online Dating Wars. So before we let you go, Mark Miller, one more question, which is, besides me, what is your proudest professional moment as a writer or performer? Like, what is the one thing that, if you were carving these things on your tombstone, God forbid, what would you point and go, yeah?
Well, one that I'm very proud of and excited by was when I made the transition from stand-up in clubs to stand-up on TV. And one of the TV shows that was one of the first things I did was called Star Search. It was hosted by Ed McMahon, and you would be rated by judges, like an American Idol type thing. But they had comedians, singers, they even had actors doing dramatic stuff. And I was the first comedian, they told me, that got a perfect 4.0 score from all 4 judges. So that was a thrill, both to be on TV and to accomplish that. Unfortunately, the second show, when you come back for your return engagement, you're up against somebody doing their best material against your second best material. So it's set up to fail. But I wanted to thank you and tell you one of the quotes I read from your bio that I loved, and that is, "I'm so far on the fringe, it's a wonder I'm still on the tablecloth." And I love that. I identified with it. It made me laugh, and I applaud you.
Nachas from one writer to another. Thank you. I applaud you for complimenting me, which is really the best thing another person can ever do. So I compliment you for being amusing and funny and lovable. Can we see by the way, is the Star Search clip still on? I'm doing the Joe Franklin move here. Is the Star Search clip on YouTube? Can we watch you?
I think it is. I'll look for it and send it to you.
Or if not, tell us one of the jokes that you remember. You must remember your bit on Star Search.
My opening line was always a guaranteed laugh getter. And I would come out, look at them and say, "How many like me already?" And they always went for that.
I like that. Yeah. Now, granted, Son of Sam has also used that line. It didn't quite. Gary Gilmore tried it. It did no, but with you, it works because you were instantly likable, and it was only compounded moment after moment through our time together. So, Mark Miller.
Well, most of my act is repurposed lines from serial killers, so that was okay with me.
I just come on stage and let's do it. Anyway, Mark Miller, markmillerhumorist.com. Thank you so much for spending a bit of your Shabbos morning with us. I wish you more creativity, more articles, more things to compile for the second book, and just more stories and more storytelling. And we'd love to hear more of your life and your stories. Come back on the show here as well. We'd love to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Shalom.
Happy soon to be not quite Jewish New Year. It's early, but start thinking about it. Mwah!
You too. All the best.
Shalom. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Mark Miller, my friends. Oh, Mark Miller here. And it wasn't that delightful. Wasn't it just like low-key, but funny, but smart, but funny, but nice, but funny. I wish I could be all those things. Anywho, just for your reminder, I'm Rabbi Sal Solomon. On and off the fringes of the tablecloth here. Remember, you can go to shalomdammit.com, shalom, D-A-M-M-I-T, shalomdammit.com to watch my mini sermons, to watch my stage show, which is both storytelling and ranting. It's called Shalom Dammit, An Evening with Me, which you can see at the website, shalomdammit.com. Also, I did a TV show a few years ago, not this kind of TV, but more like local cable, public access, crappy public TV, but mine was brilliant. It was called Shalom Dammit, Rabbi Sal Solomon's Peace, Love, and Acid Reflux Hour. All of these are available at the website, shalomdammit.com. You must check it out. Anywho, I've got to go. I got to get back to Temple. Let me bring the program back to its host, Dave Lefkowitz, with more of the 956th episode of the Dave's Gone By Show. I'll see you very soon. Oh, wow, what a delightful time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Saturday morning. It's August 17th, 2024, and I am still Dave Lefkowitz, and you're watching the Dave's Gone By show. It is, as we said, our 956th episode. If you want to see older episodes or even hear older episodes of the show when we're just a radio program, remember that all of that is at, davesgoneby.com. DAVESGONEBY, davesgoneby.com. And it's absolutely free. You can hear the very first episode we ever did of the show back in October of 2002. We're coming up on our 22nd year broadcasting. Many, many years radio, audio only. Then about 7 years ago, we started doing this video thing, whatever you want to call it, TV or TV on the radio. However you want to term it, we're doing it, and all the episodes are available. They're archived at davesgoneby.com. You can also find them at archive.org. Archive.org. It's also free. It's a not-for-profit website that I have nothing to, I don't get any financial anything from it, but it's just wonderful to be in a place where they collect art and entertainment and literature and culture from the past hundreds of years. Either they have the permission to screen or put things there, or they're given permission or it's public domain. So old radio shows, old TV shows, entire books, it's pretty great. And we have a channel there, Dave's Gone By. You'll also find our channel at castbox.fm, castbox.fm, and that is for audio only. So if you just want to hear episodes of the show, whether they're old radio ones that we did or even more recent ones, if you don't care about the visual, and why would you care about this face, then you would go to castbox.fm, and it's good for podcasting. You can be on the go and listen anywhere to the program. It's all the same material, the same full-length shows, and in the case of archive.org and davesgoneby.com, the interviews as well. We have a separate file for the interviews alone. Either way, enjoy. It's there. We also have a YouTube channel, but YouTube can sometimes mute things because of copyright. Facebook is doing that too. Such an annoyance. The real place to go is davesgoneby.com. Plus this Facebook page, of course, for all your Dave's needs. Oh, we got something in the mail.
It's clothing.
Yeah, all right, cool. You want to share?
No, I got you.
We got it special. I don't have a scissor here. I have to go and check that out. But anyway, we still have a bit more to do on this program. We have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. We also have to talk about our friends of the Daverhood. Plus, we do have Dave's Big Dick Shenary, where I will be talking about the word, or dealing with the word copious. Copiously, I will do it, I hope. So yeah, what's new, what's happening, what have I missed over the past, while the rabbi was here?
What happened to
Yeah, the
what
place,
happened there?
it's been rainy.
What happened? Yeah.
It gets frizzy, and he just gets a hair emergency, if you will. So, emergency. Ooh. Calling Dr. Beat. Oh man, I could sure go for some saucy nugs. Just the name of it. What was the thing we used to pass a billboard when we were in Colorado for one of these fast food places? Might have been McDonald's. They had the
McCrap.
Yeah, the McWrap was bad. It was a wrap, but in McDonald's style, so they put tons of crap in it. But it was literally, the sign was the McWrap. And if you read it like that, it's like a Scotsman eating his own shit. It's like, what do you mean? Oh, I'm eating my crap.
That's disgusting. That's true.
And it still tastes better than haggis. So there you go.
Yes.
Anyway, why don't I guess I ought to do.
Did you do word of the day?
Have not done the word, have not done.
Like really a lot of laughing in the interview. I was watching and listening to the words. Yeah.
It was fun. It was really cool. It was great to talk to Mark Miller. As a matter of fact, let's do the Friends of the Daverhood. Then I'll get to our word of the day for Dave's Big Dictionary, which is copious, and then our Colorado Limerick, which tends to round things out. So, yeah, let's play a little bit of Mozarty music. Go, Mo. Whoa! Jeepers creepers. Aha! Yeah! So anyway, these are people like Mark Miller, like Rabbi Saul Solomon, who have been on this program over the years and months that we've been on the air. Like, we're wondering, hey, it was great that they've been on the show. What are they up to now? So, for example, hey, want to wish congratulations to musician Al Stewart. You know Al Stewart, the Year of the Cat. And well, has just released. I actually better get my glasses for this. Al Stewart and the Empty Pockets, his band, have released, I think it's a 2-record set or 2 CD set called Live, where it's a live CD. People still releasing live CDs, and Al Stewart is one of them. Just came out. It's called Live. The literal title of it is Live. Al Stewart and the Empty Pockets. So grab a copy. I want to let you know that speaking of jobs, this burns my britches. Keith Alessi, who was one of the people on the show about a year or two ago when he was in one of the Fringe festivals with a play about this play. Tomatoes tried to kill me, but banjos saved my life.
I remember that,
yeah. Yeah, he's a very fun guy, interesting story. His cancer story, banjo stuff. Tomatoes tried to kill me, but banjos saved my life. He did it in the Fringe, and now he's brought it to the Edinburgh Fringe.
Oh, wow.
So congratulations to him on that. But then he wrote on his website that, or on Facebook, that his play, his show with a little music in it, got a rave review from Playbill.com. And I was like, that is not possible. Because I ran Playbill.com for a few years, and one of our directives was that you're not allowed to review anything. Everything is objective news reporting. We were theater news. We couldn't review anything. I was hired as a theater critic. I was hired as a journalist. So how the hell did he get a rave review from? Turns out they send this girl, whoever, to the Edinburgh Fringe because Playbill has this. The way they make money now, in a society where nothing can make any money, is they do cruises and they do things
theater-based events.
Theater-based cruises. So they've got a cruise thing off Edinburgh's where you stay, or it might be the hotel thing that they have. And Playbill sort of organizes things, and then you can go to the Edinburgh and come back to this nice Playbill floating thing. And they have this woman who's, I guess, connected to that and to Playbill, and she's reviewing the Edinburgh shows. Like, now granted, he got a really positive review. Maybe they don't let her run negative reviews. I don't know.
That's odd.
Maybe it doesn't matter because it's not Broadway or New York. It's the Edinburgh Fringe. So who gives a I don't know.
That's sketchy.
But I would have given my left nut to review when I was at fucking Playbill.
Trying to go make a relationship again.
I'm just like, and she gets to go fucking Edinburgh.
Who's there?
A couple. I don't know why they don't send them. I know. Our friend of the Daverhood, Seth Rudetsky, he's always, he's doing cruise things for Playbill, the piano thing and having stuff. But I always feel like opportunities are being, offered to other people just out of the reach of my own fingertips. It's like, really? Now, granted, I was writing for them 25 years ago.
Yes.
Literally 25. Things might change.
Yeah.
But, it's like, really? I can understand doing a preview piece or interviews, which Playbill has always done, of the folks who are doing shows at the Edinburgh Fringe. But reviews. The world moves on. Anyway.
Which has to change to keep it competitive or make money, probably.
Yeah. Well, I can't imagine they're making any money from reviewing shows. They're making money from the fucking ship that's sitting out there, or the hotel.
Part of the...
Or maybe, I don't remember if it was a ship or they booked a bunch of hotel rooms or something. I didn't pay attention. Anyway, in happier news, Kathleen Turner. Remember, of course, A-list actress Kathleen Turner was on this show a couple of years ago. She is playing Madame Armfeldt in A Little Night Music. That is in Maine at the Ogunquit Playhouse, and you've got one basically tonight, to see it. So it's closing today. Go see A Little Night Music in Maine. And then on Sunday, tomorrow, together again, our friend of the Daverhood, Adam Pascal, is co-teaming with actor Anthony Rapp. You know what they both were in. speaking of 25 years ago, Rent. So they're joining together for a concert thing at the Suffolk Theater on Long Island.
Cool.
That is tomorrow, Sunday. And then on Monday, one of our most beloved cabaret people, Steve Ross, is doing a show tributing Alan J. Lerner. It's called I Remember Him Well, and that will be, of course, at Birdland on Monday night. On Thursday, Richard Skipper is doing a benefit at and for the aforementioned Laurie Beachman Theater at the West Bank Cafe. So yeah, Richard Skipper, have other guests and vocalists and cabaret folks, but he's hosting that. And all the money will go to, keep the West Bank Cafe going. Now, playing starting on Thursday and running through the middle of September, Little Shop of Horrors. Now, that's been playing off-Broadway for many years now, the revival, which features music by Alan Menken. Well, they're doing a revival of Little Shop also at, where is it? I lost it. At the Algonquin Playhouse in Maine. So as soon as Kathleen Turner goes out with Little Night Music, they're bringing in Little Shop of Horrors.
Wow.
Neil Berg's The Sabbath Girl is off-Broadway, 59E59 Theater. It's a Penguin Rep production of this musical that's gotten very good reviews, and it's playing through September 1st. Off-Broadway, Andre the Shields is in Cats, the Jellicle Ball. It's a rethinking of Cats as this campy drag show thing.
Wasn't it always? How is that different?
Well, back in the day, Cats was about pussy. Thank you. So anyway, you can see it at the Perlman Center over on Fulton Street downtown. You know they're going to move it. They're just trying to figure out where. Katie Huffman is directing the off-Broadway musical Empire at New World Stages. On Broadway, Alan Menken's music, of course, is in Aladdin. And then you've got Katie Sullivan. Speaking of, we were talking about cabaret before. She is at the Algonquin on Tuesday evenings. Vince Giordano and the Nighthawks, they play 2 shows at Birdland on Monday evenings. Eric Comstock and Barbara Fasano are at Birdland on Tuesday evenings. And of course, Jim Caruso's cast party every Monday night at Birdland. Get your tickets at birdlandjazz.com. Make sure you see Michael Garin playing piano at the Roxy Hotel in Tribeca Tuesday through Saturdays. And then, of course, a shout out to our friendly friends of friends, Evan Seplow, founder and editor of the website stagebuddy.com, Vicky Quaddy doing Late Night Catechism and Are You Smarter Than Your
It looks like on Facebook.
Oh yeah, she's been, that's true, she's been roaming, I think she's been vacationing a little bit, but she still sends other people out in the shows that she's co-written and created.
No, that's actually true.
So if you don't see Vicky Quaddy in Late Night Catechism, you're seeing somebody else doing Late Night Catechism all around the Chicagoland area and environs. Want to let you know also that David Sheward writes for TheaterLife.com, CulturalDaily.com, and of course TotalTheater.com, where he reviews shows on and off Broadway. He has a brand new review up of Once Upon a Mattress featuring Sutton Foster. So just go to TotalTheater.com. Mouth not moving at this point. TotalTheater.com to read that from David Sheward. And a shout out to Leslie Hoban Blake and Charlie Gross, who co-host the review show 2 on the Aisle on Manhattan Neighborhood Network and also on YouTube. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. Take it away, Mozart. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it's about 20 to 12 Eastern Time here in the Daverhood with me, Dave Lefkowitz, our 956th episode of this program, and my wonderful wife is there too, and I thank you always for joining us on Saturday mornings or listening later through the archives. And speaking of writer stuff, before I forget, we talked to a TV writer, a script writer, a journalist, Mark Miller before. Remember that if you want to read my writing, that is at a different website. That is at davelefkowitz.org. This is my name, davelefkowitz.org. And there you can read my song lyrics, my one-act plays, my full-length plays, my interviews with people, all of that stuff, and we keep trying to put more and more as time allows. DaveLefkowitz.org. For example, we have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
Vicky's birthday was August 15th.
Oh, happy birthday 2 days. Oh, I think I
That's
dropped
something
her.
I was looking for.
Yay, happy birthday to Vicky Quaddy. Yay. But yeah, DaveLefkowitz.org. So yeah, if you want to read, and I'm not sure you do, but if you want to read every one of the 300 Colorado limericks that I've written for the Colorado Limerick of the Damned, you can go on DaveLefkowitz.org, just put in poetry or put in limerick, and it will come right up, and you can read them one after another, rather than, I do one a week here on the show. It is something to be bombarded with so much perversity in such a small place. It's like Hustler magazine times 50 of just one after another of these unbelievably sick, disgusting poems.
This one is good.
Today's, I am sorry to report, is actually quite clean and even PG rated, even a little bit sad. So I went off the brief.
Make people cry, that kind of stuff?
I don't think it's gonna make people cry. Usually my poetry makes people cry, but for a different reason. No, this is just sad in a different way, and just not dirty, and not disgusting, and not evil, and sexist, and homophobic, and all those other wonderful things that the show has been called. No, it's actually a perfectly lovely but awful. Oh no! I'm building up. We haven't done Dave's Big Dick Shinary yet. Oh no! I've got to flaunt my dick Shinary, because the word. Let me get the music ready for Dave's Big Dictionary. We started this a few years ago. The idea was that a word would be picked at random from the dictionary, and then I would have to just talk extemporaneously off the top of my head, which is what extemporaneously is, as opposed to the guy with the fireworks who really was off the top of his head, about the word, whatever comes to mind. Just verbal diarrhea, free-flowing, free writing, but without the writing. And today's word is copious. Extra, tell all about it. It's Dave's Big Dictionary. So what we have now is Merriam-Webster itself puts out, they tweet, they Facebook, whatever they post, a word of the day to bring attention to the idea that, oh yes, we still publish a dictionary. Nobody buys it in hard copy anymore, but we still actually publish a dictionary. And you can certainly surf our website and do things like that. So Merriam-Webster, their word of today is copious. Do we have I don't think I brought the book out.
I'll give it to you. I'll pull it from your email.
Please, yeah. Copious, C-O-P-I-O-U-S, which means many, which means a lot of. And I think the definition, thank you very, very much, a synonym of abundant and plentiful.
A synonym, yes.
It is always used before a noun to describe something very large in amount or number. For example, the pie was served with a copious amount of ice cream. For example, Jacqueline took copious notes during the long lecture and shared them with the rest of her study group.
Do you want a dictionary?
No, this is fine. Okay, and here's from a published example. My colleagues were more than gracious enough to take some time out of their day to taste test copious amounts of chocolate. Said Tori Latham in the room. Yeah. Again, she has a job. Her colleagues have a job. What do they have to do? They get to taste chocolate.
Copious amounts.
While being paid copious amounts of chocolate. This is a job that other people, not Dave, get. Anyway, but the word copious.
Here's the full.
Thank you very much. Oh my.
You just click on see the entry. That's the entry for the dictionary.
So yielding something abundantly, a copious harvest.
Yes.
Plentiful in number. Copious references to other writers, which I do. Full of thought, information, or matter. Shakespeare, whose soul was so copious.
Oh, full.
Haven't really heard. it used like that.
I've never heard it used that. More like an adjective, right?
Yeah, that's a little. Well, it's still an adjective, but you usually they were saying you put it before a noun.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, or profuse or exuberant in words. A copious talker, which
I like that one. That I like.
Copious weeping, copious food and drink, present in large quantity or large scale. So yeah. Oh, and there's a little ad for Aveeno baby eczema lotion. Aveeno baby 5.5 stars.
Relate to maybe copious disease.
I guess if you have copious eczema.
You need a copious amount of cream.
Yeah, or a copious baby. You know, a baby who's exhibiting signs of copiousness.
Maybe corpus, maybe.
Oh,
Corpus.
if you have copious corpuscles,
Yeah.
then your blood is well, no, you have sickle cell anemia then, don't you?
I don't know. I'm not a medical person.
Anyway, or iron deficiency, or too much iron.
What's that?
Anyway, copious. That's my word of the day for Dave's big
What did you say?
dictionary. Well, I'm going to start now. So, the first, I don't know if this is the same with you, but if you're middle-aged or older middle-aged like I am and Jewish, yeah, it's funny. I guess I got to start calling myself an old person.
You just get your toilet paper ad on your Facebook.
But if you're my age and Jewish, particularly, then maybe the first thing that came to your mind when you heard the word copious was it being used in the Tom Lehrer song about Alma Werfel. Right? I mean, the minute you said copious, I was like, copious. Well, because, Lehrer is a great lyricist of our, a novelty lyricist, let's say, of our time. I mean, Dylan is the great lyricist, and, he's got some contenders. There was Sondheim and stuff. But Lehrer would just find that moment. So he was writing about the widow of Gustav Mahler, Alma Mahler, Alma Werfel, and her. I haven't heard the song in probably 25 years, and I still remember bits and pieces of it. So she was married to Gustav Mahler, and if you remember the song, which by the way I could play because Lehrer put all his material in the public domain. I could actually play the Alma Werfel song from Tom Lehrer. So when married to Gus, she met Gropius, Walter Gropius, the architect.
I think you had the same cadence of your thing. I was like, click, click.
So you know how I have to find rhymes for my Colorado limericks?
Yeah.
Lehrer tasked himself with finding a rhyme for Walter Gropius.
Oh, God.
Well, he found one, of course.
Gropius.
While married to Gus, she met Gropius, and soon she was swinging with Walter. He died, and her teardrops were copious. She cried all the way to the altar. Classic. So first thing that comes into my head.
That was your copious, but you have to make your own.
I have to make my own.
You can't copy.
But first thought, best thought. First thing when that word came to my mind, Tom Lehrer. Now, in terms of copious, it is actually the opposite of my worldview, of my life view, because I always come from a place, I've talked about this before and even recently, of fearing want, of fearing, well, not drought, but what's the word? I'm fearing scarcity. That's the word. Thank you. Yes, scarcity. This is I was never poor, right? Always middle class or lower middle class or middle class, whatever. Never starving, never without a roof, never without anything, and yet there's even my parents were post-depression. My dad wasn't born until the early 30s, late 30s. My mom born in the 40s. So my grandparents, they were in America. They suffered through the depression. But my parents, no. And yet the fear of not having, right? The fear of, so you have called me, I'm not anymore, but on a certain level I've been a hoarder of books and music and CDs, and not just physical things, like, when I started putting music on iTunes, I was like, I gotta have every song by this artist.
I don't know what that's called.
Well, it's addictive hoarding behavior a little bit, of like wanting, making sure I've got the whole album and none of the songs get cut off. It's the best possible version. And this album I will never listen to by this artist. I'll listen to this album by this artist, but I won't listen to this. But I have to have them both, right? Have them both on vinyl, have to have them on CD, have to have them in the MP3. I mean, they're a lot cheaper because I was just downloading. But either way, it was still sort of like coming from scarcity and being happy when things were copious. And I think we're all going to be a little scared of this because right now everybody's used to copiousness in terms of I can go on Hulu, Spotify or iMusic and get virtually any song that I ever want to listen to.
I don't know if Spotify. Is Spotify still a thing?
Yeah, Spotify. So what are people's Apple Music, iMusic? What are the other music providers? I don't even know because I mostly listen through YouTube. And YouTube. But there's no guarantee 5 or 10 years down the line that ASCAP BMI won't pull the plug, that all these rallying for the rights of songwriters won't suddenly say, oh, all these things that we've taken it for granted have been for free and are readily available will no longer be. There was a point when they took the Beatles off one of the platforms for a couple of years before they came back. Taylor Swift's music is here, but it's not there. This has changed. Suddenly an album that has been available regularly on YouTube forever, the guy who had the channel it was on took the channel down, died, disappeared, and so that album's no longer there. So there's still in me, because I'm from an older generation, I guess, that thing of like, I still sort of wish I had all that music I used to have on my player just when YouTube goes down, when YouTube gets sold to China and China shuts it down, right? When Spotify goes out of it, when something else happens, or when legalities destroy what we've had, as it kind of did to a lot of like internet radio stations and stuff back in the day, then the person who will be laughing is the person with their vinyl records, with their old CDs and the CD player, is the person who's still got a working, audio platform that will play MP3s or MP4s or WAV files and thousands and thousands and thousands of song files that he will never, as long as he keeps them on a pristine hard drive or an external hard drive, we'll always have them. And we'll be laughing when everybody else is like, oh my God, I can never hear the Rolling Stones again, except when I pay 99 cents each time to download it, right? So that's my thinking, and I still have that feeling. Like when we cleared out after the blackout, when we threw out everything just about in the fridge, and part of me doing that was like, how bad could the meat in the freezer be after 18 hours? And probably you couldn't tell because if it had thawed out, it would have refrozen once the fridge went back on because we weren't home for that. So I couldn't have gone back after like the blackout was immediately over, opened the fridge and looked and seen, oh, it's still frozen. There's nothing wrong with it. The thing in the fridge, but throwing out food. And again, I didn't live through the Great Depression. I didn't come up through extraordinary poverty, but throwing out food, and then being with our friends who are European and Turkish and so forth, who are like, I don't know, what are we going to make for lunch and dinner today? I don't know. Let's go shopping. We'll buy what we need for today. We have some provisions, and we'll make it today. We'll shop more for what we need tomorrow. Never been like that. I'm like, we're shopping for the week, and I'm going to buy something. It's on sale. And it's going to sit in the closet for 2 years before I use it, but it's there, okay? We have copious amounts of this because we have it. It's on sale, And then what will happen, of course, is it'll sit in the fridge, and either it'll go past the expiration date, or the fridge will have another, one time our fan belt kicked out on the fridge, and so everything's spoiled then, or we'll have another blackout, or it'll be in the closet. And something will spill, it'll fall over, it'll be whatever. Or my wife will look at it and say, Dave, this is from 2022. And I said, leave it, it's good. She said, it's not good, we're throwing it out. I was like, fine, whatever. But this thing of wanting copiousness because it is the reaction to fear of scarcity. Wanting to make sure that you have everything you need the moment you need it. I couldn't find a nail file one day about 3 years ago. My nail was like,
Oh, yeah.
I can't find the nail file. So I went on Amazon that day and I bought like a pack of 100.
What, 375?
I went for cheap. I went for like 1 cent per file because it was on sale. And I put nail files all over the place because I hadn't, whenever I want a nail file,
You know what?
I've got a nail file.
You'll never get rid of the copious amount of love I have for you.
Oh, thank you.
And the copious good lookingness you have in that shirt. Look at you, cowboy daddy.
You are the second person to compliment me today. Mark
What
Miller.
did he
Well, no,
say?
he complimented Rabbi Saul.
What did he say?
Oh, he thought it was a brilliant line about comedy. I can't, even though the rabbi and I wrote it, about his comedy so far so far on the fringe. It's a wonder he's still on the tablecloth or something like that.
Oh,
It's a good line.
That is
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah. But anywho.
Yeah, what was
Well,
it
thank
again?
you, dear. So that's
You
where
got copious amounts of guests.
we have. Yeah, I mean, I could have stopped this show after 50 episodes, made my mark after 52 episodes for a year.
500.
I was going to stop. I was thinking of stopping at 500. Yeah.
Look, you're so close to 1,000, Bookie.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then I'm thinking 1,000 is it. I'll find something else to do, whatever it is, and maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Yeah. But there's a sense of, I didn't just do a couple of shows. I did 1,000.
And said,
I'm sorry. What? Who?
Mark Miller wrote, said, thank you for a wonderful interview. You're a wonderful interviewer. Couldn't find the Star Search clip online, but this one gives you a good taste of what I was doing.
Oh, cool.
There's a kiss on the cheek from Phil Silvers.
Phil Silvers. Phil Silvers has been dead for.
Me and then gave me a kiss on the cheek at the end.
Oh. Phil Silvers, of course, one of the great TV comedians from Sergeant Bilko, and also a Broadway actor. It was a funny thing happened on the way to the forum. So thank you to Mark Miller. Thank you for being a wonderful guest. Thank you for your lovely compliment. Copious love from my wife. Copious love from our guests. Copious love from you viewers at home. Because I love it when you send thumbs up and gifts and notes. If you want to write to me, Dave's, this is a perfect little segue. Write to me at davesgoneby@aol.com, davesgoneby@aol.com, or drop me a line right on our Facebook page, or you can even post, on our Facebook page if you're, I think you have to be a friend to post or something like that. But however it works, I love to hear from you guys. Give me a thumbs up on our Twitter feed, Radio Dave 2. It's Radio Dave, the number 2, and yes, we do have an Instagram page, dave.lefkowitz. It's still promoting the show. All the real information is at davesgoneby.com, but we want to get it out there. It's social media world. I'm not on TikTok yet. I hope to waste more of my time.
We watched the influencers, so now we know how to do it.
Yeah, there's a Korean show on Netflix.
Where they have hundreds of people and they narrow it down and they win money. It's all about apparently you need to have a good picture and you need to have something like secret boyfriend revealed, or I will tell you my salary, or some kind of
because you would imagine, you would figure that automatically, if you want Instagram or TikTok views, tits, you would figure tits, girls, cleavage, tits, yes, but that didn't always work.
No, it was the words, you had to say I will secret boyfriend, or I'll tell you my salary, or something like the influencers would reveal some secret. That was the one, telling a secret.
Or it was also not just about getting an initial hit, but how long they linger on the image. So one guy took a pretty photo of his teammate, but he put a fake crack along the photo. So instead of looking at, pretty girl, it's
what is that?
What the hell? And it forced people to spend an extra second, 3 seconds looking, which is part of the whole idea.
The one that didn't work when that same guy got booted off, he was very famous. He took a picture of his dog and he circled something in red to have people look at it to see what it was, and that didn't get anything.
Oh, oops. Oh, well.
The comedians got a lot. The two funny kids got stuff.
Yeah. So it was the funny thing about that show. It's this Korean reality contest series of people who try to be the most influential influencer. And they're all Korean people you've never fucking heard of in your life, but in Korea they're big, apparently. Or if you're 20 or 17 or 22, they're big in the scrolling thing. But the funniest thing was the first episode. I swear to you, there were 77 contestants and they were all introduced into it. You kept wondering, what is this? All they're doing is just bringing up one.
Oh, yes.
This is so and so. This is so. Oh, another person coming down the one way. Another, because with things like Survivor or
Yeah.
The Real World
Yeah.
or Jersey Shore, places like, they usually have like 6 to at most like a dozen
Yeah, I don't
characters.
think they have more. We don't know, like on this island, Survivor Island.
But this one had 7. I'm not. That is the actual number. I think
Oh, maybe it
77
means something. It might be a lucky number.
initial contestants. I was like, Jesus Christ, this never stops. There's no show here. It's just let's introduce somebody who looks interesting.
I know.
And then eventually they did whittle them down from 77 down to 1. It's amazing. Anyway, somehow Dave's big dick. There were a copious number of
Yeah.
contestants in that Korean The Influencer show.
Did you do your limerick? I don't remember.
No, I'm about to.
I couldn't remember
Oh,
if you did.
there were a copious number of dogs in the Korean restaurant kitchen. And you,
Ah, David, that's disgusting.
yes, but clean. Clean joke, sick joke, but
That's
clean.
true. That is true.
So as I warned, we do have our Colorado Limerick of the Dam to close out our episodes. It's literally noon. We've done 3 hours, and we're still not quite done because we have our poem of the week. My wife and I lived in northern Colorado for about 13 years. And while I was there, I got it into my head to write an awful, raunchy, disgusting limerick poem about as many places as we could. So I've been doing that week after week after week after week, and have not just dozens now, but 300 of them. And you can read them at davesgoneby.com. So I keep trying to write a new one each week. Last week, we did Arrow, Colorado, a ghost town, I think over near the Pueblo area of Colorado. And it was a really, really disgusting, evil, sick, twisted, dirty sexual poem. Yay. So I tried to do the same for a whole different place in Colorado called Arrowhead. It's got head in the name. It should be filthy, right? And yet, my friends, I feel I have let you down this week, at least in those terms. I've come up with a poem, and I like it very much. However, it is not dirty. It's not disgusting or sexual or
Okay, then they want to hear it.
anything
They
like
want
that.
to hear it. They want to hear it.
No one here. So wait, I've got to play the music. Hold on.
Okay, but they want
So,
to
ladies
hear
and
it.
gentlemen, I'm also going to tell you a little bit about Arrowhead, Colorado, which is actually a current
Is it a country
place. It's a real.
town? How many people? Arrowhead, Colorado.
Yeah. Get it going. Let me play the music, and then you can tell us. Yeah, here.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme. And likewise, verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick. Rocky Mountain,
So, lovely wife, would you kindly tell us a couple of things about Arrow, Colorado?
Says the demographics. There were over 37,000 people calling home.
Yeah, it's an unincorporated community in Larimer, which is still sort of the middle of northern-ish Colorado. Well, yeah. Tagline is, if you go to their official website, quote, the most desirable on-mountain resort community
Wow.
in the Vail Valley. So, according to Arrowhead.com, Lincoln's Homestead Act, this is how it all started, in the 1860s brought farmers and cattle ranchers who were there also feeding the local miners. And then it built. By 1946, Pete Dodo, this is the guy's name, Peter Dodo.
Oh, it has a
Yeah.
golf course.
Well, it's got everything. There was a ranch there. He bought the McCoy Ranch, and he raised cattle there until 72. But in the 1970s, they started cutting into the mountains, started making ski runs.
Oh, wow.
One of the planners found a quartz arrowhead on the property.
Oh.
Understand? So Arrowhead wasn't from like the 1800s. They
No,
found an
that's-
arrow when they were
that's interesting,
chopping
yeah.
into the mountains. Yeah.
Wow.
And then by 1979, they wanted to name the country club there Arrowhead, but that name was already taken. So they created Country Club of the Rockies. So you can kind of tell
Why
what
don't
kind
they
of.
just call it Country Club in Arrowhead?
Yeah, right. They probably could. But then by nicknaming Arrowhead, it'd still be confusing. Do you know who designed their golf course?
John Denver.
Doesn't get, no, but he doesn't get better than that. Jack Nicklaus.
I was like Palmer. Who's the
Yeah.
Palmer?
Arnold Palmer. If it wasn't Palmer, it would be Nicholas. So Nicholas designed it, and he lived in that
that's
area
so
for a few
cool.
years. Yeah. By the late 1980s, Arrowhead and got connected with Beaver Creek, and now it's just this major vacation destination. Like probably if you have a home there, it's probably worth like $8 million or something like that. So Arrowhead is pretty ritzy kind of cool place in Colorado. I mean, I would love to bring it down, or look how blue I am when I bring these guys up. Look how blue it made me. Wow. And so, well, you can't. I mean, I'm literally on the screen. Everything's
No, because I know when I do it when I'm with Veronica and I lean close, I turn carrot color. I look like a carrot.
Yeah. No.
Literally like the color of a carrot.
Wow. Am I blue?
Maybe it's the color they're trying to adjust for the potatoes.
That's exactly what they're doing.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got my drumsticks ready.
Okay, so guys, I'm going to read a poem now, and you know what? They're not too young for it. They can actually hear it.
Oh, good. Okay.
I probably should have Rabbi Saul read this one, but I'll do it.
Could they face forward if they're facing?
Well,
the moves?
yeah. All right, here we go.
Okay.
I'll make sure I can do this correctly.
Okay. Yes.
Our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Arrowhead, Colorado.
Okay.
Ahem. It's rather absurdist poem too.
Fine, I got the.
You have to do a time travel thing to
Okay,
get it.
no worries.
Ahem.
Okay.
It's cute. It's not dirty. It's but we got a poem coming up for you. Our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. So if you're all ready, if you've done the washing up, you can leave the kids in the room. It's perfectly fine that they're there. There's nothing here that they'll hear that will be upsetting or problematic for children. As a matter of fact, as I said, it is clean.
Oh, good. Okay, good. Yeah, that's good. Okay.
Our Colorado Limerick of the Damned. Just screwing it. Okay, here we go. Ooh, you okay? Our Colorado Limerick of the Damned for Arrowhead, Colorado. I'm just messing with people. Okay. When Moses vacationed in Arrowhead, his Airbnb had a narrow bed. He'd lie there awake and cry till daybreak about all the mean things the Pharaoh said. I know, right?
So sad.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know Moses was so. Maybe he needed therapy. He was very touched by that.
Well, that's why he needed a vacation. He went to. He left
well,
Egypt. He
there
went
you go.
all the way to Arrowhead, Colorado. You probably don't. If you have a complaint about that poem, it's probably because it isn't dirty. So please write to Dave's Gone By at
Unless you're an
AOL.com.
Airbnb owner, then you have.
Right. Yeah.
Fair
enough.
Our beds are huge. We have a.
Yeah.
Remember when they were saying that all the Airbnbs had cameras in them, and it wasn't really true.
Well, I'm sure a couple did. You know, there's one or two tarnishes the lot. You
I
know.
don't think you can legally take something like that.
No, you can't. It's illegal, and they get arrested.
Oh, okay.
But some people, I'm sure, a couple of pretty girls come to stay, and
I thought it was more for like property damage or.
oh,
I
yeah.
don't know.
See where my mind goes. But yeah, property. I'm sure to make sure, like a babysitter cam, to make sure that she's not shaking the baby like a cocktail mixer.
Do you want me to order the foodies?
Or is that what we're doing? All right, wait. So we're finishing the show. So is there anything else we have to just? Oh. A minute or two or three, one more, before we completely end this 956th episode of the show. Gotta say farewell, man. We lost two people,
Oh no.
two friends of the Daverhood this week. First of all, we lost Ralph Pierre Lecoq.
Oh no. What happened?
Ralph Pierre Lecoq, do you know his stage name?
No.
Peter Marshall.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's actually the dad of Pete Lecoq, the baseball player. But
What did he die of?
well, kidney failure, but 98. Yeah, 98 years old. And he was in his 80s when he appeared on our show. Of course, he's the host of Hollywood Squares, but he was also a singer. He did a couple of Broadway shows. He was in the original West End, the London staging of Bye Bye Birdie with Chita Rivera.
Wow.
And he was on Broadway in La Cage aux Folles, playing, I guess I'll well, the more straight of the couple. And he did a bunch of performances on Broadway of that. So yeah, Peter Marshall, man. But and if you want to go to the Dave's Gone By archives, you can hear Rabbi Saul Solomon's interview with the late Peter Marshall right there. So do that. And also we lost, this is reported on the same day that Greg Kinn passed away at the age of 75. And check this out, he was only 75, but was Alzheimer's related. So I don't know, but he's best known, of course, for the breakup song and Jeopardy, which Weird Al most famously parodied. Radio host for a bunch of years, and also a novelist. So yeah, gotta say a big farewell to Greg Kinn, as well as Peter Marshall, who left the Daverhood and left the planet this past week. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to mention that. Is there anything else? Oh, I have had this joke sitting on this page to remind me to tell it for 2 months.
Tell it.
So I'm now going to tell it so I can take it off the page
Yeah, tell it.
and come up with a new joke for next week.
Tell it.
What is Spanish people's favorite Stephen Foster song? Camptown Ladies, but without the chorus. Sin duda. I wrote that. Please send your comments and complaints to davesgoneby@AOL.com. Yeah. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, that really does conclude this 956th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Podcastio, Programmio of the Stream. I do want to tell you what we know who our guest is next week, and I'm very excited about this. Not only because we had his daughter on the show a decade or so ago. Now, one of his daughters is the lovely cabaret singer Maud Maggart.
Oh.
And she was on our program.
The other one, Fiona Apple?
The other one is Fiona Apple. But we've got their dad, who I think just turned 91 years old.
What's his name, Mr. Apple?
It's Mr. Maggart, because Fiona Apple is Fiona Apple Maggart, and Maud Maggart is Maud Maggart. So, Mr. Maggart, Brandon Maggart, who, speaking of television, was on a bunch of TV shows. He's a writer, and has memories also of the theater. So, yeah, we're going to be talking, or Rabbi Saul will be talking, next Saturday to Brandon Maggart in the Daverhood. Kind of cool stuff. So you don't want to miss that. You don't want to miss any episode of Dave's Gone By. So go to davesgoneby.com to watch all of them, or hear all of them.
See a copious amounts of things.
To copious numbers of shows. If you literally added up all the hours of Dave's Gone By on the website, it would, I don't know if it'd be more than 5,000 hours.
Of course it would. Because you piece out stuff too.
Yeah, maybe. And we also used to do shows that were 4 or 5 hours long.
Yes.
So maybe 3,000 to 4,000 hours.
New Year's Eve shows and stuff, sometimes for a whole day.
Yeah. Remember that Tony show that was almost 10 hours long?
Oh my God.
That's one of the greatest moments of my life.
That was.
I'm trying to show you what a shit show my life is, but still.
A
But
lot of good guests, returning guests, people,
Yeah.
Now you're doing families of guests. That's the new thing, right?
Right. Well, no, actually, not so new. I've had who have I had
Peter
on?
Marshall. There's somebody.
I've had husbands and wives. I've had
You've
I think
had
I've had
bands, like whole groups of people.
yeah. I have had a mother. There's a woman, Velez, and her mother was a Spanish performer. I literally have to look that up again, but it won't be not the first time that we've had relative and relative separately in various incarnations of Dave's Gone By.
There goes the family.
Yeah.
We're together to have a mother, a father, a sibling. There we go.
Yeah.
You had Julie Garland, not Julie Garland.
I've had family members of famous people on.
Yeah, that's
for
what
sure.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, no, I hope I had. I've had, oh God, Herschel Bernardi's son, because he's on Broadway.
One of the, Charlie Chaplin's family or something?
No, I wish.
No.
No.
Another silent.
Buggy
You
Hackett's.
had a lot of sons of, yeah.
Yeah. But there have been times when I've had one and then the other, which was kind of neat.
Should keep track of that.
Brother, I'm trying to. We've had Liz Calloway on. Oh no, sorry, we had Ann Hampton Calloway, but I've never had Liz Calloway on.
Good.
Well, and she's welcome to come. Love to have you. George Ball and his wife separately. George Ball, Karen Mason. We've done that, and we're happy to do it even more.
Yeah.
But for now, next week, Brandon Maggart in the Daverhood on Dave's Gone By.
Should be a great guest.
And Rabbi Saul will be back, and I'll be back, and my wonderful, adorable wife will be back as well. And please, I hope you'll be back too. It will be next Saturday, the 24th, from 9 until noonish Eastern Time in the Daverhood, as always. Until then, don't miss your Daves going by and gone. Oops. I didn't load it up, sorry. And gone by.
Days gone by, days gone by, days gone by, days gone by,